Chapter 776. Within a radius of 1,000 miles, all living creatures and ferocious beasts were pressed to the ground by the vast pressure that descended from the sky. It was like the power of the heavens. Even though the ferocious beasts were wild and untamed, they could not help but lie on the ground under the pressure that was filled with the aura of death. Their bodies trembled like sieves, their heads were pressed to the ground, and their eyes were filled with fear. Even ferocious beasts had to submit to the power of the heavens and earth. The land of exile restricted all kinds of mystiques and dharmic powers. Even dharma treasures could not unleash their power. The heavens and earth were extremely strict, and all beings within this range could only cultivate their physical bodies and physical combat skills. The heavens and earth were filled with connate yuan qi, but they could not absorb or use it. This was a cage. A prison. However, once one's strength reached a terrifying level, and his body was so strong that he could tear the void apart with his bare hands, he could escape from this prison. For ordinary cultivators, unless they reached the pinnacle of the eternal giant, legendary geniuses, who cultivated peerless body tempering techniques, could tear the void apart when they reached the mid-stage of the eternal giant. Another example would be Sakra. He had fused many different body refinement techniques and absorbed their essence to create the ultimate emperor indestructible body. It had a unique and powerful effect on the refinement of the demon body. Now that he was at the pinnacle of the ancient demon sage, he had condensed 4 indestructible divine rings. His demonic body was so strong that he could fight against eternal giants. He could fight above his level. Once he broke through to the ancient heavenly demon realm and cultivated an indestructible body, even if he had just reached the early stage of the ancient heavenly demon realm, he would be comparable to those at the pinnacle of the ancient heavenly demon realm. He was strong enough to tear the void apart with his bare hands. He could break through the restrictions of the land of exile and escape from this prison. He was such a heaven-defying expert. He wanted to break through in the land of exile. It was a huge threat to the entire land of exile. It was a terrifying provocation. Usually it was nothing. But now, when he was about to break through from the ancient demon sage to the ancient heavenly demon realm, the heavens and earth in the land of exile began to show its power. The demonic tribulation this time was the 9 heavens purple lightning tribulation, which even heavenly demons were wary of. This was to kill Di Shirtian, who had the potential to break through the restrictions of the heavens and earth, in one fell swoop. Destroy all threats in the bud. The brewing of the demonic tribulation instantly attracted the attention of all the experts in the banished land. Within the Danhuang Palace in the city of exile, a green-robed old man suddenly stood up from his futon. He walked out of the palace and raised his head to look in the direction of the 10,000 Poison Valley. There was a look of surprise between his brows. Dao Nu and Sword Nu's natal spirit lamps were extinguished not long ago. I sent them to the 10,000 Poison Valley to wait for an opportunity to kill the demon emperor. It seems that they have already met with misfortune. Could it be that someone is undergoing a tribulation? Could it be that the demon emperor is undergoing a tribulation to break through to the ancient heavenly demon realm? He pondered in his mind, feeling bewildered. He waved his sleeves and said, "You 2 pieces of trash. You can't even handle such a small matter. It seems like I still need to personally take action. If he is really undergoing the tribulation, I will personally kill this monster." A resolute expression appeared on his kind face. He turned around and left the Danhuang Palace. With a shake of his body, he transformed into a mystical bird and flew into the distance. At the same time, many experts in the city of exile sensed something. They transformed into various types of birds and rushed in the direction of the demonic tribulation. Some of them wanted to see who was transcending the tribulation, while others had other motives. At this moment, a dark palace stood in a secluded corner of the city of exile. Around the palace, military camps stood tall. A large number of soldiers were wearing dark armor and holding huge, sharp, black sickles in their hand. They were waving the sickles over and over again, making various offensive moves. They were training again and again. On their faces, there was a cold black mask that could only cover half of their faces. Naturally, there was a gloomy and deathly aura exuding from their bodies. It was as if they were the Grim Reaper in the darkness. Around them, even the air had become unusually oppressive. Around them, no one was willing to enter this area. Looking at the palace, there were a few ancient seals that appeared, God of Death's palace. In the palace, there was a black-robed man with a simple, pitch-black mask on his face. There was a slender scythe in front of his knees. One could clearly see the countless sharp, pitch-black teeth on the scythe. Vaguely, a strange aura radiated from his body. The aura seemed to contain a kind of demon chi that only demons would have. It also seemed to be somewhat heterogeneous and did not seem to be pure. A half-demon. Only a half-demon could have such an aura. It was a unique existence that was born from the union of the demon clan and the human clan. Whoosh! The man slowly opened his eyes and looked up at the void. He said in surprise, "This is the aura of the demon clan. Someone from the demon clan is undergoing the tribulation. It seems like he wants to break through to the ancient heavenly demon realm. However, in the land of exile, there are only a few demons who have the ability to become a heavenly demon. However, undergoing the tribulation is extremely dangerous. Unless it is absolutely necessary and they are not certain of success, they will not undergo the tribulation." Could it be that the Demon King is undergoing the tribulation? After a moment of silence, he suddenly stood up and flew out of the palace. Modu! The dragon demon crown prince coldly looked at the location of the heavenly tribulation and coldly said, "The location of the tribulation is near the 10,000 Poison Valley. The Witch of Myriad Wonders is there. Could it be that something has happened? The demon clan, there is a demon clan undergoing the tribulation. Men, immediately inform the 7 fiends demon sovereign. This crown prince wants to see who has the guts to break through in the land of exile." Not long after, several figures riding on demonic dragons flew out of Modu. In the land of desire, one could see that Di Shurtion and the Witch of Myriad Wonders were both in a strange void. Strands of inextinguishable obsession drilled into the body. This was a kind of test that the realm of desire had for the newcomer. It made the newcomer experience all kinds of illusions within the inextinguishable obsession. Each illusion was the most frightening scene, and one's mind would be pulled in and be tested. Don't. The Witch of Myriad Mystics' face was filled with intense fear as she let out terrified screams from time to time. Her body was violently trembling. However, Sakra's state of mind was calm and incomparably tenacious. In addition, the extreme monarch tyrant heart secrets that he had condensed using various techniques to protect his state of mind had protected a little bit of clarity in his heart. All kinds of illusions were broken one after another. Every time he broke through an illusion, the perception of fear would also slowly integrate into his state of mind. Comprehending the true meaning of fear. Fear was an emotion that all intelligent beings in the world would have. It was a strong psychological or physical reaction caused by unpredictable factors in the surroundings. It was a natural reaction when encountering a terrifying threat. No one could avoid it. Even a peerless expert might not be able to avoid the feeling of fear at the moment of their death. Not only were the illusions created by the undying obsessions unable to truly threaten Di Shurtion, but it also allowed him to have a deeper understanding of fear bit by bit. Slowly, perhaps an instant, perhaps millions of years. His eyes that were originally filled with fear gradually regained clarity. It's time for me to truly enter the realm of fear. Only by personally experiencing it can I completely comprehend the true meaning of fear and transcend it. I will never be affected by fear and will be able to control it. Come. Di Shurtion looked at the Witch of Myriad Wonders, who was still immersed in fear, and coldly laughed as he shouted into the void without any fear. Suddenly, the surroundings became grotesque and variegated. The boundless power of fear instantly evolved into a strange illusory realm, and in an instant, it pulled him into the illusory realm. What was even more frightening was that the boundless power of desire immediately sealed the memories in his mind. Entering the illusion was like going through a rebirth. No other power could help him. In the illusion, he truly had to rely on himself to comprehend the boundless true meaning of fear. When Tion truly entered the illusion, the 4 undying divine rings around him began to revolve crazily. The boundless undying obsessions and true dragon purple chi between heaven and earth continuously flowed into the undying divine rings. In the void above his head, the dark purple tribulation cloud had already condensed to the point that it seemed to become solid. Countless bolts of purple lightning flashed wildly in the void. A boundless pressure covered the entire area. Crack! Within the purple tribulation cloud, a bucket-sized bolt of purple tribulation lightning suddenly descended and directly struck towards Tion. The tribulation lightning contained the will of heaven and earth. Destruction. It destroyed all threats. This was the terrifying purple heaven lightning. Tion was still subconsciously moving around the Witch of Myriad Wonders' body. He automatically used the yin-yang demonic cauldron technique to replenish her primordial yin. The 4 undying divine rings around him protected the Witch of Myriad Wonders as well. Bang! The purple heaven lightning instantly crossed the boundaries of the void at an astonishing speed and directly struck Tion's body. However, it was blocked by the 4 undying divine rings around him. The ring of wrath flickered with a dense purple-gold divine light and was locked in a stalemate with the lightning. However, this divine ring wasn't fully completed and was the weakest of the 4. In just a few moments, the purple heaven lightning shattered it and completely dissipated. As it dissipated, it also destroyed the first bolt of purple heaven lightning at the same time. Although the ring of wrath wasn't fully completed, it was still able to block an all-out attack from an ancient demon sage. However, it was destroyed at the same time as the purple heaven lightning. From this, one could see how powerful the purple heaven lightning was. Crack! After the first bolt of purple heaven lightning struck, a second bolt of lightning that was even more resplendent and condensed than the previous one came crashing down. The purple heaven lightning was unstoppable. The ring of wrath was instantly destroyed by the purple heaven lightning. The purple heaven lightning and the divine ring were destroyed at the same time. Rumble! The third bolt of purple heaven lightning struck again. This bolt of purple heaven lightning was 3 times stronger than the first bolt. The terrifying force instantly destroyed the remaining 2 undying divine rings, and the remaining tribulation lightning struck the demon sage's body. In an instant, the demon sage's body was destroyed by the tribulation lightning. Countless cracks appeared on every inch of his skin like a spider web, and purple gold blood seeped out from them. Countless destructive bolts of tribulation lightning continued to drill into his flesh through his wounds. They wanted to destroy Tion's demon sage's body. They wanted to destroy him. However, at this moment, the strands of creation power that came from the yin-yang demonic cauldron suddenly moved. To be continued. If you want to know what will happen next, please go to www.chidian.com. There are more chapters. Support the author, support the original reading. Chapter 777. Haha, good. 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 Lunatic D, you really have great luck. It seems that the remaining luck of the demon clan is all connected to you. I originally planned to use the sacred sacrifice again and burn my divine soul to help you withstand this demon tribulation. I didn't expect that you would use the yin-yang demonic cauldron grand technique to absorb the primordial yin of the Witch of Myriad Wonders. The power of fortune derived from it has such a miraculous effect. Old demon Zhai Xing, TSK, I will treat you well. In the nether prison, Dark was originally determined to use the sacred sacrifice again when Tion couldn't withstand the tribulation lightning. Suddenly, he couldn't help but laugh wildly in surprise. Each bolt of purple heavenly lightning was stronger than the previous one. Once it reached the 9th bolt, even gods and demons would perish. No matter how strong Tian's demon body was, he hadn't cultivated the immortal body. His mind was also immersed in the realm of desire. If there were no accidents, he would be blasted into powder by the purple heavenly lightning in the end. Not even dregs would be left. Dark was well aware of how terrifying the heavenly tribulation was. However, when he saw the 3rd bolt of purple heavenly lightning completely destroy the immortal divine rings derived from the immortal body, he knew that Tion wouldn't be able to withstand the next bolt of purple heavenly lightning. Just as he was about to perform the sacred sacrifice, he saw the power of fortune nurtured by yin and yang suddenly enter his body. The power of fortune contained the true essence of life and the mystery of heaven and earth. Wherever it went, the flesh that was destroyed by the tribulation lightning healed at a speed visible to the naked eye. In the blink of an eye, it was completely healed. Even the power of the purple heavenly lightning was refined into his flesh. In the blink of an eye, the countless cracks on his demon body were completely healed. The immortal body of the Emperor was automatically activated. The 4 immortal divine rings that were destroyed were born again, crushing his flesh inch by inch. In the blink of an eye, his demon body was completely refined, and his demon body became even stronger. There was a great fortune in dual cultivation. The Witch of Myriad Wonders had originally planned to plunder Tian's yang energy to further improve her demonic arts, but she had never expected that she would become the greatest benefactor of Tian's heavenly tribulation. If he knew, his nose would probably be crooked from anger on the spot. Crack! As if it knew that Tian's injuries had disappeared, the tribulation clouds in the sky were completely enraged. They rolled violently, and a vast pressure pressed down like a tide, causing the space to distort. The 4th heavenly thunder of purple clouds struck down. It smashed into his body. The 4 indestructible divine rings were destroyed in the blink of an eye. The terrifying divine thunder blasted countless hideous wounds on the spot. One of his arms was instantly turned to dust. However, the miraculous thing was that the power of creation in his body was endless. The moment the wounds appeared, they immediately drilled into them and rapidly healed them. Even his arm, which had been reduced to powder, grew back in an instant. It was as good as new. When Dark saw this, even his eyes narrowed. With the protection of the power of creation, as long as you don't instantly turn into dust, no one can completely kill you at this moment. Now, let's see if you can pass the test of the realm of desire. Compared to the heavenly tribulation, the realm of desire was the most terrifying one. If one couldn't break through it, they would sink forever. The heavenly tribulation was easy to block, but the realm of desire was difficult to pass. Ding dong! In a pavilion in the fairy lake in the demon city. The melodious sound of a zither reverberated in the air. The sound of the zither exuded a strong sense of longing, as if a wife was silently waiting for her husband to return from afar. The sound of the zither lingered in the air. Suddenly, the sound of the zither stopped. Sister, why did the zither string break? Could it be that the fetus in your womb is moving around again? In the pavilion, Zhu was sitting with her jade-like arms supporting her chin, listening to the sound of the zither. Bai Hu was also sitting calmly beside her. In the main seat was the pregnant Qin Shi. Qin Shi's belly had already begun to bulge, and her body was overflowing with a motherly radiance. The flesh and blood between her and Tian was about to be born. However, at this moment, there was a zither in front of her. If one looked closely at this zither, they would find that it was given to her by Tian when they were in the southern wilderness. However, one of the strings on the zither broke silently. A broken zither string must be ominous. Tian is in danger. Chen Shi and Tian Xiang said at the same time. They looked at each other and saw the grave and worried expression on each other's faces. Brother-in-law is in danger? When Zhu Er heard this, she couldn't help but exclaim, I heard from the demon soldiers who returned from the blood altar that brother-in-law is now in the land of exile. There are many fierce beasts and demon gods there. Could it be that those demon gods want to murder brother-in-law? Her small face was full of anger. Chen Shi's eyes quickly changed various expressions. After a moment of silence, she finally said, Sure, Tian is the emperor of our demon clan. I believe that no matter what difficulties he encounters, he will eventually overcome them one by one. Now, the most important thing for us is to immediately select the elites from all the demon clans and send them to the land of exile to train them into an army. Now, all the worlds in the heavens must be spying on our demon city. No matter what, we can't panic. Her eyes flashed with a determined look, and there was a firm belief in her heart. She knew that the only thing she could do now was to stabilize everything in the city. She believed that her husband was not someone who would die so easily. This belief was incomparably firm. At the same time, 1,000 miles away from where Di Shurtian was undergoing his tribulation, a green-robed elder instantly landed on a towering mountain peak that was thousands of feet high. He looked at the valley that was covered by the tribulation clouds. The purple tribulation clouds had covered everything inside. It was impossible to see what was happening inside. However, in his deep eyes, he seemed to have confirmed a certain guess. Humph! In the land of exile, there is only one person with an aura that I am not familiar with that can reach such a realm and reach such a level. The 9 heavens purple thunder tribulation. Even if you can overcome it, I will send you on your last journey. Dan Huang's eyes were filled with a thick gloominess. The Dream Demon King's sudden announcement that those who settled in Heavenly Pillar City could receive a longevity pill every day had already caused a considerable impact on the city of exile. His killing intent towards Di Shurtian had completely risen. Sakra's existence was a kind of provocation to his position, a kind of threat. At this moment, Dan Huang could not help but look to the south. He saw a 3-foot-long red-haired boy wearing a red tutu singing in a childish voice. Below him was a snow-white crane that was incomparably mystical, carrying him from afar. The world is drunk, but I am the only one sober. Fine wine is for me to taste. How many heroic deeds since ancient times are not as good as a cup of wine in a pot? The boy's drunken eyes were blurred. When he saw Dan Huang, he chuckled. Old man Dan Huang, aren't you usually refining pills in your Dan Huang palace? Why are you interested in coming out? Could it be that this tribulation has something to do with you? As he spoke, he sized up the tribulation clouds in the sky with great interest. He clicked his tongue and said, What a guy, it's actually the 9 heavens purple lightning tribulation. This tribulation is yet another heaven-defying expert. If he really manages to overcome it, that would be incredible. When did such a monster appear in the land of exile? He's even more arrogant than this old man. His eyes narrowed into thin slits. He carefully sized up the tribulation cloud. Treasure of many treasures, this monster undergoing tribulation has enmity with I don't recklessly interfere later. Just treat it as me owing you a favor. When I return, I'll refine a furnace of good pills and send them to your treasure pavilion. Dan Huang said in a low voice. Humph. At this moment, a cold snort spread in the air. Death God, it's you. The alchemy sovereign's pupils contracted violently. He saw a masked man with a pitch-black sickle on his back flying through the air. TSK, today is really interesting. Even you, Death God, are here. However, it seems that this is not the end of the fun. Even Shanghai wants to join in. Interesting, really interesting. The tribulation has attracted so many old friends to come and watch the ceremony. To be honest, this old man is very curious about this person undergoing tribulation. Treasure of many treasures boy sat on the red-crowned crane and poured the wine in the pot into his throat. As his voice fell, the vast demonic body of the 10,000-foot-long demonic dragon quickly broke through the air in the distance. On the demonic dragon's body, the dragon demon crown prince, the 7 baleful demon venerables, and a demoness with a cold expression and a heartless aura appeared. At the same time, experts from all directions faintly rushed over from all directions. Each of them stood in a different direction, faintly revealing a vigilant expression. Many of them even emitted a faint hostility between them. However, none of them dared to step within 1,000 miles of the valley. This area was covered by the tribulation clouds. Once they entered, they would immediately be regarded as the target of the tribulation and would be swept into the tribulation on the spot. The 9 heavens purple lightning tribulation was a terrifying tribulation that even the ancient giants did not dare to touch lightly. Silence. Waiting. More and more experts gathered in the valley. However, everyone's gaze was quietly waiting for the tribulation to end. Faintly, even the air became abnormally oppressive. It was as if this was a terrible omen before a storm. Whoosh! However, not far away, in a hidden mountain wall, a small hole silently appeared. In the hole, a palm-sized mouse poked its head out and looked into the distance. It quickly shrank back. In the blink of an eye, it quickly sealed the hole. His Majesty is in danger. I must immediately send news back to Heaven Pillar City. Someone is plotting against His Majesty the Demon Emperor. When it came to intelligence, Big Mouse could be considered a genius. The Mouse tribe was born to be the gods of intelligence. With their ability to dig holes, they were able to dig out countless crisscrossing tunnels. Through these tunnels, they were able to monitor what was happening in every inch of the area. Just now, the underground network had been connected to this place. It was also by chance that they were able to find out what was happening. In an instant, the news was transmitted to Heaven Pillar City at an unimaginable speed. To be continued. If you want to know what will happen next, please go to www.chidian.com. There are more chapters. Support the author, support legal reading. Chapter 778. What? His Majesty the Demon King is undergoing a tribulation, and there are many experts who want to harm him. Shuda received the news in an instant, and without any hesitation, he quickly sent the message to the Dream Demon King. Order the Azure Dragon, White Tiger, Vermilion Bird, and Black Tortoise legions to head to the 10,000 Poison Valley to protect His Majesty. Azura Kill, Emperor Assassin, head there as fast as you can. Shweshur, immediately dispatch the Heaven Battalion to meet the enemy. The moment they received the news, orders were quickly passed down to the entire Heavenly Pillar City. In an instant, the demon army charged out of the city and rushed towards the tribulation cloud. The entire city was filled with cold killing intent. Crack! The 7th bolt of purple heaven divine lightning struck down and smashed onto the Sakra's body. The 4 undying divine rings were instantly destroyed, and even the upper half of his body was blasted into smithereens at the same time. However, under the power of creation, the body that was blasted into smithereens grew back at a speed visible to the naked eye. At the same time, the 4th immortal divine ring, the Ring of Wrath, emitted a purplish golden divine light that became more and more intense. It was so condensed that it was almost tangible. Within it, the boundless inextinguishable will of wrath gathered crazily, and indistinct roars of rage could be heard. This Ring of Wrath had already reached its peak, and it was about to enter the state of great completion. Rumble! The immortal divine ring was constantly being regenerated. Every time it was regenerated, there would always be traces of the power of creation that would fuse into the divine ring, causing it to become even more mystical. However, the purple heavenly lightning was too overbearing. When the 8th bolt of purple heavenly lightning struck, the Demon King's body was still unable to withstand it. The demon's body was still unable to withstand the attack and was destroyed on the spot. Only a head and a purple-gold heart were left. Under such circumstances, ordinary cultivators would most likely die in an instant. However, de Chertion was able to regenerate his entire body at a speed visible to the naked eye under the power of creation. The 9 purple heavenly lightning strikes is about to reach the last bolt. You must block it. As long as there is even a drop of essence blood left, under the power of fortune, you will be able to reconstruct your monster body. Dark muttered nervously. As long as he could withstand the last tribulation lightning, the demonic tribulation this time would be considered over. As long as he could awaken from the state of desire and break through, he would be able to break through to the ancient heavenly demon realm with the help of the tribulation power. What a guy! Which heaven-defying expert is going through the heavenly tribulation? Under the heavenly thunder of purple heaven, he actually managed to survive till the 8th strike. If he survives the heavenly tribulation, I'm afraid a heaven-defying ancient heavenly demon will be born in this banished land. Legend has it that after the heaven-defying level experts have passed the tribulation, they have the powerful combat strength to tear the void and leave the banished land. However, they are usually very weak at that time. It is said that the rules of the banished land will temporarily disappear, and they can use divine powers, magic arts, and magic treasures. As long as you kill them, this world will give you a reward. Even an ancient giant could instantly raise his cultivation by a small realm. It was possible to obtain eternal life in the exiled land. There were even innate spirit embryos. However, the release of the rules seems to only last for an hour. Once he passes, even the banished land will have to admit that he has the heaven-defying qualifications. After the heavenly tribulation, it will be the human tribulation. I'm afraid there will be an earth-shattering battle soon. Such a heaven-defying expert has not been born in the banished land for many years. Looking at the vast coercion emitted by the tribulation cloud, the whispers of discussion continued to spread. The most shocking thing was that when such an expert who had the ability to leave the banished land was born, the banished land would actually temporarily release the shackles of heaven and earth to kill him. This was the killing intent of heaven and earth. Crack! The tribulation cloud rolled violently, and finally, a heavenly thunder of purple heaven struck down. The heavenly thunder was like a purple thunder dragon, roaring and rushing down from the void. Everywhere it passed, the void was annihilated inch by inch. It completely collapsed and collapsed violently. This terrible scene made the faces of Dan Huang, boy of many treasures, and the other onlookers change. The destructive power contained in the tribulation thunder made even them feel the breath of death. Rumble! The purple lightning dragon instantly pounced onto Sakra's body, and the 4 indestructible divine rings instantly crumbled before its sharpness. At the same time, the witch of myriad mystics' demonic body was blasted into smithereens. Fortunately, the demonic arts and primordial een within her body were all plucked away. Then, countless purple lightning bolts filled every inch of the void. The water in the hot spring turned into nothingness in the blink of an eye. In the blink of an eye, the surrounding mountains and the entire valley were turned into dust by the tribulation thunder that exploded like a spiderweb. Even the cave where the peacock was in was destroyed, revealing the peacock's body. However, the peacock was protected by a strange purple lotus throne, which blocked all the tribulation thunder outside. It did not harm the peacock at all. The violent purple tribulation thunder covered the entire sky. For a moment, the onlookers could not see what was happening inside. Whoosh! The tribulation clouds that filled the sky left just as quickly as they came. In the blink of an eye, they strangely disappeared without a trace. At the same time, the valley under the heavenly tribulation was completely revealed to the onlookers. The valley had been completely razed to the ground, and there was only a terrifying crater that was thousands of feet wide in the middle. There was not a single figure in it. The onlookers were in an uproar. What a terrifying purple heaven lightning! Each strike is stronger than the last. It has a terrifying power that can destroy heaven and earth. There is not a single living thing in the valley. Could it be that the demon who just went through the tribulation was blown to smithereens by the tribulation thunder and died? What a pity! It was an expert with heaven-defying potential. How many years has it been since someone broke through the void in the land of exile? No, look. Why is there a heart and an eye in the crater? Look, there is a change. Just as the onlookers thought that the person who went through the tribulation was completely dead, someone with sharp eyes pointed to the crater in horror. In the crater, there was a purple-gold divine eye that was emitting a strange divine light. There was also a purple-gold heart that was strangely suspended in mid-air. Thump! The heart suddenly rose and fell violently. Suddenly, a mysterious power emerged from the heart. Then, 13 demon veins rapidly grew at a speed visible to the naked eye. Purple-gold bones condensed in the void, and flesh grew on the bones. In the blink of an eye, a majestic demon body was formed at a speed visible to the naked eye. Strands of dazzling divine light flickered on the demon body. Every inch of flesh exuded a supreme power that could suppress the surroundings. Whoosh! Just at that moment, Sakra's eyes that were originally tightly shut suddenly opened. 2 terrifying rays of light directly shot out 100 feet away, piercing through the void and creating 2 terrifying big holes. 4 immortal divine rings were formed from the flesh. Endless sadness, anger, great joy, and a strange fragrance spread out in all directions in an instant. Ha, crazy Emperor, the 4th level of the immortal Emperor body is complete. Quickly, use the remaining power of creation in the flesh to cultivate the 5th level and achieve the immortal body. Dark shouted excitedly. Sakra's eyes were deep and unfathomable, devoid of joy or sorrow. He had awoken from the state of lust. In his mind, all kinds of feelings towards fear flowed like a clear spring. In the demon manner, all the barriers of the 10th grade Black Lotus were instantly destroyed, completely fusing together, becoming one. On the Black Lotus, a new grade was naturally born. An 11th grade Black Lotus appeared. The space in the Black Lotus instantly expanded by 10 times. The original Immortal Emperor True Force only occupied 1/10 of the Black Lotus. However, at this moment, the Immortal Emperor True Force in the Black Lotus seemed to have undergone a miraculous transformation. Every strand of True Force contained a supreme will. Any drop of Immortal Emperor will could crush a person to death. The Immortal Emperor will could cause a person to fall into a boundless illusion of desire. If the True Force in the past was dead, then it was alive now. The power of the attack was getting stronger and stronger. The 10th volume of the Immortal Emperor Shocking the World was complete. He had officially entered the 11th volume. Outside his body, the halo of wrath that had not been completed was now like the previous 3. It was so condensed that it was almost solid and emitted a glazed divine light. Inside it, a Holy Spirit with a face full of anger stood proudly. The 4th immortal divine ring was complete. Now Deshurtion was half a step away from becoming an eternal giant. As long as he cultivated the immortal body, he would immediately become an eternal giant. I'm afraid that some people might not let me step into the immortal body. Deshurtion's mind moved, and a black robe instantly wrapped around his body. His entire body rose into the air and stood in mid-air. He looked up at the sky and said coldly, "The shackles of heaven and earth have disappeared. This is the will of heaven and earth in the land of exile that wants to kill me. It wants to borrow an external force to kill me again." The terrifying shackles of heaven and earth had mysteriously disappeared. Even the heaven and earth Yuan Qi was released from the shackles and could be freely absorbed. There was no longer any violent foreign force in the Yuan Qi. The shackles of heaven and earth were released after he passed the heavenly tribulation. A large number of experts appeared around him. Almost in an instant, they figured out the plan of heaven and earth clearly in their mind. Kill him. Heaven and earth has promised that the one who kills the demon emperor will be able to leave the land of exile. Leave this cage. The one who kills the demon emperor will gain eternal life and the innate spiritual embryo. Although the demon emperor is strong, he has just passed the heavenly tribulation and has not even achieved the immortal body. The immortal body can only be cultivated with the power of creation. The heavenly tribulation did not send down the holy light of creation. He must be at his weakest now. Everyone, work together and kill him. It was as if the will of heaven and earth in the land of exile had promised something in an instant. Many of the experts' eyes instantly lit up. This was the will of heaven and earth. If you want to know what will happen next, please go to www.chidian.com. There are more chapters. Support the author. Support the original reading. Chapter 779. Those who appeared in this place of tribulation were the experts from the city of exiles, the experts from the various large tribes that were built around the ancient city, and the 3 sky demon-level experts from Shanghai. Almost the weakest among them had the combat power of an ancient demon saint. Now, the heavens and earth wanted to kill Di Shirtian. With all kinds of benefits promised, many cultivators immediately became greedy. Their eyes shone with a lustful light. Di Shirtian, I Chiochutian, am here to kill you. Give your life to this old man. Even the most powerful cultivator would do crazy things when they were blinded by desire. They saw a yellow-clothed old man standing on a hill. His body was covered in flesh and blood, and he looked like a dead tree. His eyes were filled with greed as he looked at Sakura, who was floating in midair. A light flashed in his hand, and a strong and ancient wooden staff appeared. On this wooden staff there were various natural patterns, and it was emitting a dark light. It seemed to be very heavy when he held it in his hand. His feet traversed the void, and like an ancient tree, he charged towards Sakura. Withered staff technique. Asterisk, 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 asterisk. The withered wooden staff in his hand shook, and 2 different powers of ice and fire were emitted from the staff. Moreover, they collided in a strange way, creating a destructive power that filled the entire wooden staff. It flashed with red and blue light, and a vast pressure was produced under the staff. This move was created by the collision of ice and fire, and it had endless aftershocks. Each wave was stronger than the previous one, and it was extremely terrifying. Moreover, the staff was filled with magic power, and it was free from the restraints of the heavens and earth. These experts who fought every day in the land of exiles could definitely display terrifying combat power. The staff was aimed at Di Shirtian's head. Humph! Indra calmly glanced at Qin Wentian. A halo of sorrow manifested from him as a terrifying sense of sorrow swept out in all directions. Rain of blood fell from the sky. Even the plants were emitting a boundless sense of sorrow. What? So sad. What's going on? I'm so old, why would I want to cry? The moment the eternal divine ring appeared, the old man felt endless sadness in his heart. Under this sadness, the staff in his hand became weak. He felt an indescribable sadness, and he wanted to end his own life. Bang! The wooden staff hit the divine ring, and a powerful force burst out from the divine ring, instantly causing the staff to collapse. At the same time, the eternal divine ring of sorrow entered the old man's body. In an instant, countless regrets appeared in the old man's mind. All kinds of sad scenes in his life rushed into his mind like a tide. Tears poured out of his eyes. With a sorrowful cry, he said, "My life is so pitiful, I might as well die. Forget it, forget it." Bang! As he spoke, he held the wooden staff in his right hand and smashed it down on his own head. With a bang, his entire head was smashed into pieces like a big watermelon. He had killed himself. One could see how terrifying the power of desire was. The divine soul of the old man rushed out from his body. Even his divine soul was emitting sadness. Di Shirtian waved his hand and sucked him into the saint's spiritual altar. He didn't move half a step. With just a glance, an indestructible divine ring had appeared on his body, and it was enough to make a peak Emperor realm expert commit suicide. This scene fell into the eyes of the surrounding experts, and their pupils shrank violently one after another. What? That's Ku-ji enlightened being, a peak immortal emperor with extremely powerful combat strength. How could he commit suicide? My goodness, what exactly is that divine ring? The chi it emits is so terrifying. Even the heavens and earth feel sorrow. A heaven-defying expert. He really is a heaven-defying expert. He didn't even need to make a move. Just a glance was enough to make an immortal emperor commit suicide. How terrifying is that? The power of desire. 4 divine rings have just appeared. There are anger, sadness, happiness, and one that can evoke my endless desire for food. Could it be that the demon emperor cultivates the Tao of desire? That's the root of all evil. Countless experts were dumbstruck. However, the power of desire couldn't scare everyone away. A young man with a hint of arrogance between his eyebrows held an ancient sword in his hand and shouted, "So what if it's the power of desire? I have the mind fixation pearl to protect my divine soul. I'm not afraid of your desire. Watch how I, Wang Lai, kill you." Bang, bang, bang. He stepped in a strange footwork that looked like sword light. In an instant, he attacked Di Shirtian. How dare you? Who dares to be rude to the demon emperor? Kill, kill, kill. At this moment, a furious roar that sounded like it wanted to kill all living things came from afar. At the same time, a blood-red lightning broke through the sky. Bang! A blood-red spear instantly pierced through the heart of the young man called Wang Lai. The terrifying power caused his body to explode in an instant. His entire body was torn apart. Even his divine soul was blown to pieces in an instant. A blood-red light broke through the sky. It grabbed the blood-red spear and appeared in front of Di Shirtian. It knelt on one knee and said, "Shue came late to protect you. Your Majesty was provoked by a villain. Please punish me, Demon Emperor." Shue, who was wearing a red robe, knelt on one knee in front of Di Shirtian and said in a deep voice, "It's okay. It's not your fault." Di Shirtian nodded calmly. Boom, boom, boom. In the distance, a series of roars sounded one after another. Waves of ferocious iron blood chi rushed over like a tide. Roar! A huge azure dragon that stretched for tens of thousands of feet broke through the void and appeared in front of Di Shirtian. With a flash of light, the azure dragon dissipated. 300,000 demon army soldiers in green armor stood in midair and respectfully knelt. They said in unison, "Chi Hua leads the azure dragon army to pay respects to your Majesty." Roar! A gigantic beam of crimson light tore through the air, and a 10,000-foot-long vermilion bird appeared in front of him. "The Vermilion Bird Army is here to protect your Majesty. The White Tiger Army is here to protect your Majesty. The Xuanwu Army is here to protect your Majesty. Greetings, your Majesty." The 4 armies broke through the sky and gathered in front of Di Shirtian in an instant. Their bodies were overflowing with intense battle intent and anger. They coldly swept their gazes across the many experts around them. The murderous intent on their faces was clear. "Good. You've come at the right time. This emperor wants to use this opportunity to transcend the tribulation to achieve an immortal body and officially ascend to the ancient heavenly demon realm. Shue, I'll leave it to you to guard this emperor. I only need a moment. These people are nothing but chickens and pottery dogs," Di Shirtian said calmly. The moment he saw Shue and the others arrive, he had already decided to take advantage of this opportunity to break through to the immortal body. One should know that the immortal body was a kind of fortune. Flesh, blood, bones, and even one's own supreme will were indispensable. The key point was to integrate the power of fortune. With the power of creation, one's flesh and blood would contain the power of creation. Of course, even without the power of creation, one could achieve the immortal body. However, it was extremely difficult to achieve. It was a real test of one's will. This was because once one's flesh and blood collapsed, one would have to rely on one's own will to reform the flesh and blood. Otherwise, if one's will was not strong enough, the flesh and blood would collapse and one would not be able to be reborn. The power of creation could make up for this danger. It would increase the chances of achieving the immortal body. Otherwise, if one's flesh and blood collapsed, one's body would really be finished. He wanted to use the power of creation that he had obtained through the dual cultivation method to achieve the immortal body. He wanted to step into the chessboard of heaven and earth and control his own destiny. Otherwise, once it dissipated, it would not be easy to find such an opportunity again. In the future, there would not be a second which of myriad wonders for him to pluck her primordial een. Rest assured, Your Majesty. If you want to disturb Your Majesty's breakthrough, you will have to step over Schwescher's corpse. Schwescher suddenly stood up and brandished the long spear in his hand. A fierce, murderous aura surged from his body. His red robe fluttered without wind, like a terrifying sea of blood. There was a kind of determination in his cold face. Boundless, murderous intent. The four armies did not say anything. They straightened their bodies and followed behind their commanders with cold expressions. Schwescher, you've actually submitted to this de Chertion. Dan Huang's pupils contracted violently, as if he was mocking Schwescher. Humph. If anyone dares to approach, they will be my, Schweho's, enemy, and my enemies will not rest until they are dead. Whoever dares to interfere with Your Majesty's immortal body will be killed without mercy. As soon as he said this, the expressions of many experts changed. They felt as if Schwescher had turned into a terrifying sea of blood that wanted to rush over and engulf millions of lives. Extreme Emperor Immortal Body, 5th level, Halo of Fear. After de Chertion gave this order, he did not care about anything else. He did not even think about it and directly activated the Extreme Emperor Immortal Body. 4 immortal divine rings were instantly born from his flesh and blood. Boom, boom, boom. In the void, a vast amount of true dragon purple chi and immortal will crazily poured into the divine rings, activating them. Starting from his legs, every inch of his flesh and bones were crushed at a speed visible to the naked eye. Bang! In an instant, all of his flesh, blood, demon veins, bones, and internal organs were crushed in an instant. In an instant, the 129,600 drops of purple gold blood essence began to revolve like divine pearls, emitting rings of divine light. Outside each drop of essence blood, there were 4 immortal divine rings revolving. All of the essence blood, under de Chertion's control, quickly followed a strange trajectory. Boom, boom, boom. In the essence blood, there was a strong devouring power that constantly pulled down the power of desire in the void. Traces of immortal will of fear appeared in the void and quickly fell into the drops of essence blood. De Chertion wanted to use this opportunity to achieve the immortal body and condense the 5th immortal divine ring. It's not that easy to break through. The power of desire is indeed not bad, but don't think that no one can restrain you. Dan Wang saw that de Chertion did not care about the many experts surrounding him and began to break through on the spot. This was an undisguised contempt. His eyes narrowed into a line. Light flashed in his hand and he casually threw it out. Suddenly, a snow-white lotus appeared in the void. It's the Saint Purifying Lotus. To be continued. If you want to know what happens next, please go to www.chidian.com and read more chapters. Support the author, support the original reading. Chapter 780. Virtual Illusory Realm, Master of the Heavenly Tao. Heavenly Tao. In de Chertion's inner world, the Heavenly Tao was the Tao of desire. The virtual illusory realm was formed from his domain. When the domain merged with the inner world, it would make the Tian Fa world even more powerful. In the picture scroll, all kinds of bizarre scenes appeared continuously. Vaguely, it could devour one's mind and soul completely. If one was sucked into the picture scroll, they would never be able to escape. Moreover, one could clearly see that in the picture scroll there was an ancient thunder dragon that was tens of thousands of feet long. It was eating countless delicacies with all its might. It was indulging in pleasure. It was completely immersed in the virtual illusory realm. The picture scroll quickly unfolded and instantly became incomparably huge. In the blink of an eye, it covered the entire sky and the void. Then, it strangely began to merge with the void. Swoosh! The Holy Spirit that was born from the Witch of Myriad Wonders immediately soared into the air and rushed into the virtual illusory realm to suppress it. At the same time, the 7 emotions and 6 desires and the 13 desires' origins merged into the illusory realm. In an instant, the originally incomplete virtual illusory realm was completely repaired. The power within instantly became able to trigger the 13 desires' illusory realms. At the same time, traces of the power of desire continuously spread out and filled the entire virtual illusory realm. Crack! Then, after the Witch of Myriad Wonders, the rest of the embryos broke out of their shells at a speed visible to the naked eye and turned into holy spirits of desire. They were dressed in imperial attire. An outstanding transcendence wheel appeared behind their heads and naturally emitted imperial purple chi and the power of desire. It completely became a source of power. In the blink of an eye, 100 holy spirits merged into the virtual illusory realm. In an instant, the virtual illusory realm completely merged with the entire Tian Fa world. Everything in the world was controlled by the virtual illusory realm. Underground, the dragon veins crisscrossed. The barren world was slowly filled with traces of Xiantian, Yuan Qi, and gradually became denser. Long live His Majesty! The alchemists, weapon refiners, and winemakers in the Tian Fa world felt the abundant Xiantian, Yuan Qi in their inner worlds and cheered. Immediately, the demon race began to plant all kinds of spiritual herbs. Flowers and trees were planted, and the world began to recover its vitality. Vaguely, the entire inner world was transforming and growing stronger with every breath. Haha, good. Even if that Dan Huang ate sh*t, he wouldn't have thought that although he could restrain the external power of desire, he couldn't restrain the undying obsession in your inner world. Quick, lunatic monarch, quickly obtain an undying body and beat this Dan Huang to death. Kill, kill, kill. This time, you must establish your might. Whoever dares to be disrespectful to you, you must destroy them all. I want to start a massacre and kill until everyone is terrified. They actually dared to come here and take advantage of you. They are simply too hateful. Ming howled with a ferocious expression. He had been repressed for too long and needed to erupt. Once he attained an undying body, he would officially become an ancient heavenly fae. Then, he would truly step onto the pinnacle stage of the world. All the humiliation he had suffered in the past had to be avenged. The land of exile was the place to soar. Kill, kill, kill. He had to show off his might. Fear obsession fuse into the blood essence. An invisible divine sense reverberated in the void. Immediately, strands of dark fear and obsession emerged from the 129,600 drops of blood essence and drilled into each drop of blood essence in an instant. Immediately, every drop of blood essence naturally emitted a strange halo. Vaguely, a new divine ring seemed to be slowly forming. Impossible. The Saint Lotus of Purification has already sealed the void. You can't absorb any power of desire from the heavens and earth. How can it appear again? This is impossible. The Pill Emperor's relaxed expression changed in an instant. It was as if everything was under his control. Moreover, it became quite ugly all of a sudden. His face was filled with disbelief. However, it immediately became extremely cold. He shouted coldly, "Humph, so what if you can obtain the power of desire? I promise that as long as my ancient giant friend is willing to kill the demon royal, I will give each of you a 9 transformation golden pill as a reward. In his words, he did not hide his desire to kill Chertion. Benefits moved people's hearts. On the spot, the 4 powerhouses suddenly moved their bodies and attacked at the same time, rushing towards the valley where Sakura was. It's Xing He Sword Master. Even he has joined the battle. His Xing He Sword technique has the power to change the heavens and earth. Even he can't resist the temptation of the 9 transformation golden pill. Look, it's the Fire Fox Emperor of the Beast Clan. He is the leader of the Beast Clan here. I heard that he is already an ancient giant in the early stage. It seems that he wants to use the power of the 9 transformation golden pill to enter the middle stage. That's the 1,000 Bones Dragon King of the Skeleton Clan. It's the Arrow Emperor of the Winged Clan. Even he has joined the battle. It seems that no matter how strong the demon royal is, it will be difficult for him to escape death. There was a middle-aged man in a starry robe with an ancient sword on his back. There was a young man with 3 fiery red fox tails behind him. There was an expert in a black robe who gave off a gloomy aura. There was even a man with a pair of icy blue wings on his back. All of them rushed toward the valley at the same time. All soldiers, hear my order. Get into formation and meet the enemy. Chihua's eyes shone with cold, killing intent, and his fiery red hair danced wildly in the wind. Note here, Chihua is a man, not a woman. Shao Qin waved the Azure Dragon war banner in his hand, and the vast figure of the Azure Dragon appeared on the banner. Bang bang bang! The entire Azure Dragon Legion sprang into action, quickly getting into formation. Roar! The power of the 300,000 soldiers converged into a single entity. Clouds roiled as a 30,000-meter-long Azure Dragon appeared. The Azure Dragon radiated an aura that was no less powerful than that of an ancient heavenly demon. The will of the Azure Dragon was controlled by Chihua, and it let out a furious roar. With a swing of his dragon body, the dragon claws under his body stretched forward, crossed the void, and with a vast dragon might, slapped towards the Bone Dragon King of the skeleton race. The Bone Dragon King transformed into a 30,000-meter-long bone dragon to meet the attack. Vermilion Bird Battle Formation, rise! Black Tortoise Battle Formation, rise! White Tiger Battle Formation, rise! Protect His Majesty. Kill anyone who dares to trespass. The 4 legions sprang into action at the same time. They were all enraged, and the battle formation quickly condensed the bodies of the 4 great mythological beasts. They erupted with battle strength comparable to that of an ancient heavenly demon, and fearlessly met the 4 powerful enemies head-on. True Dragon Purple Chi fuse with the flesh. At this time, Chertion began to circulate the true Dragon Purple Chi in the valley. The true Dragon Purple Chi transformed into a purple true dragon and drilled into each drop of blood essence. In an instant, the halo formed by the blood essence became more and more intense. Vaguely, the 5th divine ring began to take shape. The 129,600 droplets of blood essence began to revolve rapidly in a strange trajectory. In the air, they seemed to have transformed into a strange formation. Supreme Will, condense and take form. Split the will and fuse with the blood essence. Just at this moment, Sakura calmly spat out another sentence. One could only see that above all the blood essence, a supreme will instantly converged. Vaguely, the soul imprint, all of his memories, and an indestructible will that contained the Tao of the Emperor and the Tao of Desire began to condense within his body. This was the gathering of all the comprehensions, even the soul imprint, the great Tao that one had cultivated. Everything was gathered together to form a true supreme will. Kacha! The surrounding void was faintly distorted, and there was an invisible collision sound. Above all the blood essence, a purple-gold crystal the size of a head appeared. Inside, it naturally emitted a terrible pressure. The aura of the Supreme Will could distort and collapse the void. Break! The Supreme Will condensed into a will crystal, but at the same time, without hesitation, a domineering divine sense directly blasted the crystal. Bang! Amidst a terrifying explosion, the willpower crystal instantly shattered. Furthermore, the number of fragments that shattered was shockingly 129,600. Every single fragment was almost exactly the same size. The moment these will crystals shattered, the pain that came from the mind could almost cause one's consciousness to collapse on the spot. It was extremely terrifying. However, he secretly endured it with his terrifying will. All the fragments were thrown into each drop of blood essence. Suddenly, all the blood essence began to circulate in an incredible trajectory. The vast chi of heaven and earth from all around rushed over like a tide. If you want to achieve an immortal body, you have to ask for my permission first. Sacred purifying lotus. The cold light in Dan Huang's eyes grew stronger. When he saw that Di Shirtian's will had begun to integrate into his flesh and blood, he did not hesitate anymore. He stretched out his hand and pointed to the void. Suddenly, the sacred purifying lotus in the air rapidly grew to a size of 1,000 feet, and endless purifying power spread out like a tide. Rumble! With a terrible roar, the entire sacred purifying lotus pressed down on Di Shirtian's blood essence with vast mighty power. It wanted to purify all the blood essence and smash it into powder. It wanted to completely destroy him. With your grandfather here, who dares to be arrogant? Roar! The sacred purifying lotus was about to crush him. Suddenly a roar boomed out. A huge blood-red dragon burrowed out of the void. Underworld Emperor's 9 strikes. Underworld prison's god slaying. Underworld let out a strange cry and stretched out its dragon claws to attack the sacred purifying lotus. As the claws struck out, a vast image of Underworld prison appeared in the void. In an instant, the entire Underworld prison turned into a pitch-black spear and blasted toward the sky. It wanted to slay the god. Bang! The pitch-black spear blasted toward the sacred purifying lotus that was pressing down. The power of creation merge into my body. Creation is infinite, turn into a furnace. Supreme will merge into my flesh and blood. All things will decay, but I will not be destroyed. Immortal body, form for me! A vast roar instantly filled every inch of space between heaven and earth. To be continued. If you want to know what will happen next, please go to www.chidian.com. There are more chapters. Support the author, support the original reading. Chapter 781. F***CK. The internet is so laggy today. I struggled for an hour to get to the starting point. I almost vomited blood. Under the control of a supreme will, the 129,600 drops of essence blood formed an ancient formation. They began to rotate violently and quickly converged toward the center. Strands of the power of creation spread out. The drops of essence blood continued to fuse into one and turned into a purple-gold demon embryo. It was changing at a speed visible to the naked eye. Vaguely, it condensed into a huge black divine tiger. Demon Lord Saintus, let's attack. We can't let Di Shirtian complete the immortal body and become an ancient sky demon. This time, this crown prince will consign him to eternal damnation and never be able to ascend. The dragon demon crown prince, who had been watching from the side for a long time, became more and more evil. The mask on his face was abnormally ferocious. With a flash of light in his hand, the dragon demon god devourer halberd appeared. The scene around him changed, and a huge throne made of countless dragon demons appeared under him. He sat on it. The dragon demon king throne soared into the sky and appeared in the void. Boundless demonic chi gushed out in all directions like a tidal wave, transforming into dense demonic clouds. All of a sudden, it covered a large area of the void. Countless devils emitted terrifying demonic sounds from the demonic clouds. Vaguely, countless demonic dragons were shuttling back and forth. The dragon demon crown prince sat on the throne in the boundless demonic aura like an ancient demon god looking down on the world. In his eyes, he stared at Tion with a cold, murderous intent. A strange black gourd appeared in his left hand at some point in time. Natural patterns appeared on the gourd, and it emitted waves of ancient aura as if it was just an ordinary black gourd. However, the moment this black gourd appeared, the seven fiend demon lord and that cold demoness, the saintess of the nether spring, couldn't help but change their expressions at the same time. The crown prince has the demonic gourd of calamity. No wonder he was exiled here. He stole this supreme demonic treasure. The saintess of the nether spring frowned slightly. Now is not the time to talk about this. Kill the sky demon emperor first, the seven fiend demon lord said with murderous intent. With the crown prince's gourd of misfortune, we don't have to do anything, said the nether spring holy girl calmly. The moment the dragon devil prince moved, the devil chi covered the sky, immediately attracting the attention of countless cultivators. The gourd in his hand pointed at Tion in the valley and berated, Tion? Yes. Sakra used his supreme will to gather the flesh and blood. The power of creation instantly fused into the flesh and blood. With a thought, the entire mass of flesh and blood quickly condensed into its original form at a speed visible to the naked eye. It transformed into a huge black tiger that was 7,000 feet tall. The purple gold king mark on its forehead constantly flickered with divine light. Every time it flickered, there would be a terrifying pressure that spread in all directions. The space around him was distorted at a speed visible to the naked eye. The demon body condensed and the power of creation fused. The undying body was also completed silently. At this moment, the strength of the demon body had reached the peak of the ancient sky demon. Even if there was only a drop of essence blood left, the flesh and blood could be regenerated. Even if the head was chopped off, it could immediately regrow. It was not like before, when it was extremely difficult to regrow the head after it was chopped off. The undying body officially stepped into the ancient sky demon realm. The sudden shout made Sakra couldn't help but raise his head to look at the sky, and he subconsciously responded with a snort. His eyes instantly saw the dragon devil crown prince sitting on the dragon devil throne in midair. Furthermore, all of his attention was focused on the pitch-black gourd in an instant. Oh no, this gourd is a true name treasure. When the name is called, as long as you agree, you will be taken in. Dark clawed at the sacred lotus of purification. The terrifying battle spear hit the sacred lotus and exploded with a huge boom. The entire sacred lotus was sent flying high into the sky. However, its shout was still a step too late. After Tion agreed, an unimaginable force burst out from the demonic gourd. It instantly enveloped his entire demon body and quickly sucked him into the demonic gourd. The closer he got to the demonic gourd, the smaller his demon body shrunk at an incredible speed. In the blink of an eye, he was sucked into the demonic gourd. True name treasure! Tion only felt the scenery in front of him change. Suddenly, he appeared in a deathly silent space. His demon body shook and instantly turned into a human. Light flashed on his body and a black emperor's robe appeared on his body. His face was expressionless as his eyes quickly scanned the surroundings. In a few breaths, he had seen everything clearly. He was sucked into the demonic gourd. Humph! Dragon Devil Prince, you are courting death, Tion said calmly. His voice echoed in the demonic gourd. It seemed that there was no emotion in it, but it contained a terrifying killing intent. Humph, Sakra, after entering this crown prince's calamity gourd, you still want to threaten me? Simply laughable. Last time, if it wasn't for your bullshit divine ring that aroused my desire, I would have killed you on the spot with my halberd. Today, this calamity gourd will be your burial ground. Calamity Gourd, Doomsday Storm. The dragon devil prince's evil voice sounded in the demonic gourd. At the same time, a terrifying hurricane appeared in the empty space of the demonic gourd without any warning. In an instant, a storm was formed. The pitch-black storm stirred wildly. In the storm, countless destructive wind blades danced like the tide. Each storm contained the most terrifying power. 9 heavens astral wind, 9 dark een wind, 9 underworld demonic wind, etc. All kinds of destructive hurricanes intertwined to form the most terrifying storm. In the storm, countless lightning flashed. Like a tornado, it swept towards Chertion. The wind was so strong that the sky was dark and the earth was dark. Wisps of wind poured into the body through the pores all over the body, blowing away the flesh and blood, obliterating the bones, and even tearing the soul into pieces in an instant. Even the ancient powerhouses were shocked. Humph! You want to refine me with a mere doomsday storm? Wishful thinking. Watch I break your gourd. Chertion sneered. Between his eyebrows, the purple pattern opened to both sides. Heavenly punishment divine eye opened. A beam of purple gold divine light shot out from the divine eye. Heavenly punishment divine eye, 5-colored divine light. After the purple gold divine light shot out, it instantly split into 5 rays of 5-colored divine light that contained the origin of the 5 elements. It condensed into 5 divine feathers that seemed to have substance. In a fan shape, it swept towards the entire doomsday storm. The 5 elements alternated. Wherever it passed, the void under the divine light instantly turned into chaos and was completely distorted. The entire doomsday storm collapsed on the spot. However, immediately, thunder and fire descended from the void. Countless terrifying poisonous flames emerged from the ground. Thousands of golden sabers and golden swords slashed down crazily. Ice, fire, and all kinds of disasters rushed towards Chertion like a tide in an instant. It was as if it was the end of the world. Countless disasters could even wipe out the ancient powerhouses. However, once the Sakra ascended to become an ancient sky demon, his control over his abilities had reached a pinnacle. The 5-colored divine light was an unparalleled divine power. The 5 elements circulated. In the world, as long as it was within the 5 elements, any magic treasure would be brushed by the divine light. The cycle of the 5 elements could annihilate everything and evolve into chaos. Rumble! The 5-colored divine light swept in all directions. It turned into 5 divine feathers that stood behind Chertion. Under the intertwining divine light, he looked like an ancient emperor. His majesty was inviolable. Any natural disaster was annihilated under the 5-colored divine light. The heavenly punishment divine eye, which already had 3 innate divine restrictions, was too powerful. This was comparable to a high-grade innate spiritual treasure. Coupled with the power of an unparalleled divine power, and now, with Chertion's strength as an ancient heavenly demon, the power that erupted was more than 10 times stronger than before. It swept through the natural disasters. 5-colored divine light? You are clearly from the Tiger clan. How can you have the 5-colored divine light that only the Peacock clan has? Even the dragon demon crown prince's voice began to change. However, he immediately snorted and said, "So what if you have the 5-colored divine light? I don't believe that you can keep using it. In my calamity gourd, there are countless natural disasters. No matter how strong you are, in front of endless natural disasters, you will be exhausted and refined into ashes. Today is the day of your death." He was exceptionally confident in the calamity gourd, because this calamity gourd had refined a peak ancient powerhouse to death. The further it went, the more terrifying the natural disasters were. Humph! Chertion's killing intent surged. The divine eye emitted a strong pressure, and a terrifying divine light filled with annihilation intent instantly burst out. Heavenly punishment divine eye annihilation. Boom! 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 The annihilation divine light was like a divine pillar that directly streaked across the void and blasted on the gourd like lightning. At this moment, the annihilation divine light contained a supreme will that could annihilate everything. Any divine power that had a will would be 10 times or even 100 times stronger. It erupted with unimaginable terrifying power. This annihilation divine light was specially born for destruction. With De Chertien's current strength, just a divine light was enough to instantly annihilate a small chiliocosm. Crack! Originally, sucking De Chertien into the Calamity Gourd was just a matter of a blink of an eye. The Dragon Demon Crown Prince sat on the throne, holding the Calamity Gourd in his hand, revealing traces of coldness. He activated the natural disasters, wanting to completely refine De Chertien. However, in just a few breaths of time, a terrifying force burst out from the gourd. The entire gourd flew out of his hand and flew into the air, trembling violently. Bang! The gourd emitted boundless demonic light, wanting to resist. However, that force was abnormally terrifying. A large hole appeared with a loud bang, and a divine light burst out from the hole. Dragon Demon Crown Prince, I must kill you today. A figure broke out of the gourd from the hole where the gourd appeared. De Chertien's body emitted an awe-inspiring killing intent. This Dragon Demon Crown Prince had actually schemed against him. How could such a scourge be left alive? When the Emperor was angry, mountains of corpses and seas of blood. Bell of Heaven's reincarnation. Sealing demonic gourd. To be continued. If you want to know what happened next, please go to www.chidien.com. Support the author, support the original reading. Chapter 782. Clang! De Chertien broke out of the gourd. With a thought, an ancient bell appeared above his head. Once the ancient bell appeared, a supreme pressure naturally spread in all directions. It was as if a terrifying god had appeared in an instant. The pressure of a connate spiritual treasure caused the surrounding void to faintly solidify. The concept of reincarnation contained within the ancient bell made it seem as if it wanted to devour heaven and earth. The ancient bell shook, and a loud bell chime instantly sounded. Bang! With the ancient bell as the center, the void within 100 zhang radius collapsed and was completely annihilated. At the same time, the heaven's reincarnation bell flew into the air. The mouth of the bell rose, and the inside of the bell turned pitch black. It twisted and spun strangely, turning into a strange vortex. It was like a bottomless pit. It enveloped the Calamity Gourd that had been destroyed by De Chertien's divine light of annihilation. With a whoosh, the Calamity Gourd was swallowed by the ancient bell. Although the Calamity Gourd was a supreme demonic treasure, De Chertien had destroyed it and severely injured it on the spot. The Heaven's Reincarnation Bell was a mid-grade connate spiritual treasure. Its attack was as fast as lightning. In the blink of an eye, the gourd was swept into the ancient bell. You dare to take this prince's demonic treasure? Unparalleled calamity, doomsday storm, break the ancient bell. This unforeseen event happened abnormally fast. When the Dragon Demon Crown Prince woke up from the fact that De Chertien had broken out of the gourd, he saw his Calamity Gourd being swept into the Heaven's Reincarnation Bell. He was immediately enraged. With a roar, he communicated with the gourd mentally and urged it to spit out endless calamity. Humph! It's already too late. Today, not only will I take your demonic treasure, I will also take your life. I will take it as well. I will use your head as a wine cup. De Chertien glanced at the Dragon Demon Crown Prince indifferently. His gaze was as if he was looking at a dead man. Reincarnation of the heavens, return to the origin and merge with the heavens. The bell of samsara began to revolve violently. It shook violently and produced a chime filled with the concept of samsara. The power of samsara completely erupted from the bell, rushing into the Calamity Gourd and beginning to erase the Dragon Demon Crown Prince's soul brand. Clang, clang, clang. 9 consecutive sounds rang out as the power of reincarnation washed over the calamity gourd. The power of time within the bell began to circulate. The time within the bell passed at a terrifying speed. In the blink of an eye, thousands of years had passed. Almost instantly, the calamity gourd that had been sucked into the ancient clock seemed to have gone through countless reincarnations. Ah! The dragon devil crown prince only felt a terrifying pain coming from his soul, and an indescribable anger surfaced in his heart. He could clearly feel that his soul imprint in the calamity gourd had completely disappeared, and had been refined. Kill! The dragon demon crown prince swung the dragon demon god devourer halberd at D. Shirtion. On the halberd, 9 demonic dragons instantly roared, revealing their malevolent demonic bodies. They erupted with astonishing destructive power, and the void distorted crazily. At the same time, they roared and charged at D. Shirtion, wanting to tear him to pieces. The dragon demon throne beneath him instantly broke through the air, transforming into a vast throne that was 3,000 feet tall. Countless demonic heads danced around it, and faintly, there were countless demonic gods singing, praying, and submitting before the throne. With a domineering aura, it domineeringly crashed towards D. Shirtion. This crown prince will smash you to death. The corner of his mouth revealed a cruel sneer. Once the shackles of heaven and earth in the land of exile were released, the strength of all the experts would be multiplied by 10 times. This demonic dragon throne was an extremely powerful treasure, refined from the bones of countless demon gods. With a supreme demonic might, this collision was like a collision between heaven and earth. A vast amount of pressure came crashing down on Lin Fan. Tsk tisk, interesting. It seems that this demon emperor really has a lot of enemies. Even the dragon demon crown prince of Modu wants to kill him. This throne is a bit interesting. I'm afraid there's a demon refining ancient formation inside. This collision, even an old man like me won't be able to withstand and will be blown apart. The boy of many treasures let out a strange cry. Sitting on the immortal crane, he watched the fierce battle around him with interest. That gourd just now is obviously a supreme demonic treasure. It was actually broken open by the demon emperor on the spot. No wonder heaven and earth wanted to kill him. He really has a terrifying battle strength that defies the heavens. The aura emitted by that bell is a natural spiritual treasure. There's actually the power of reincarnation in the bell. It's too terrifying. He can even control reincarnation. Is the demon clan really going to rise? The demon emperor is full of treasures. He'll be rich if we kill him. Witnessing what happened in an instant, the experts around were in an uproar. They looked at D. Shirtion with a complicated and strange gaze. Clang! With a simple chime, a lifelike picture suddenly appeared on the surface of the crystal-like ancient bell. Strangely, an illusory gourd vine appeared on the bell, and a black gourd hung on the vine. The gourd swayed freely with a strange charm. Countless disasters could be vaguely seen brewing in the gourd. The calamity gourd had completely merged with the bell of heaven's reincarnation. Bang! In the valley, Ming's dragon body flew fiercely. The divine dragon swung its tail and lashed at the sacred lotus of purification, blasting it away. Then, he turned into a beam of blood light and returned to the nether prison. Seeing the changes on the ancient bell, he couldn't help but cry out excitedly, "The bell of heaven's reincarnation is really amazing. It can take away other supreme treasures and return them to their origin. Then, it can merge with the ancient bell and increase its power." Tsk, is this the wonderful power of space, time, seal, life, reincarnation, and many other powers fused together? The bell of heaven's reincarnation could refine everything for its own use. It could increase the infinite power of the ancient bell. You want to kill me? Then I'll kill you first. Sakra felt a majestic pressure crushing towards him. Raising his head, he instantly saw a demonic dragon and that terrifying halberd pouncing towards him. Even the mountain-like dragon demon king throne was crushing over, wanting to smash him to death. Killing intent surged in his heart, but his face was still cold. Fight, fight, fight. Killing intent and fighting intent intertwined. He had reached the ancient heavenly demon realm this time to establish his power. He wanted to be completely domineering and intimidate the whole world. So what if it was the dragon demon crown prince? An emperor couldn't be humiliated. If he was humiliated, he would die. Today, not only would he kill, but he would kill cleanly and domineeringly. He would kill until the world trembled. Boom, boom, boom. The seed of heaven's reincarnation burst out with brilliant reincarnation light. The entire ancient bell expanded at a speed visible to the naked eye. In the blink of an eye, it became a 3,000-foot-long ancient bell. A picture of a gourd vine appeared on the bell, with a mysterious black gourd hanging on it. In the divine light emitted by the bell, there was a strange prayer echoing. Heavens, myriad worlds, the cycle of reincarnation, all things vanish. The strange heavenly melody of reincarnation echoed. Bang! Tion stepped into the void and stood on the ancient bell. He was like an ancient emperor controlling the ancient bell, directly colliding with the 9 demonic dragons. Roar! The 9 ferocious demonic dragons were hit by the ancient bell. With a loud boom, a terrifying power completely erupted. The 9 demonic dragons collapsed on the spot, smashing into countless fragments. When it collided with the dragon demon god devourer halberd, the domineering force directly broke the halberd apart in a single blow. It directly charged towards the dragon demon king throne with boundless demonic might. Rumble! This collision was like a comet colliding with a meteorite. The huge ancient bell and the dragon demon monarch throne violently collided in the void. The surrounding void collapsed on the spot and completely shattered, erupting with chaotic and destructive power. Everything within a radius of 10,000 feet was completely destroyed. Countless storms swept over. The surroundings were transformed into the most terrifying world of chaos. However, Sakra stood on the celestial samsara bell, and the calamity gourd in the picture on the bell suddenly glowed with divine light. He opened the lid of the gourd and sucked in the surroundings. Countless calamities were instantly swallowed by the gourd and hung on the gourd vines again, swaying with the wind. Dragon Demon Crown Prince, I will beat you down to the mortal realm today. Tion controlled the ancient bell and crashed into the Dragon Demon Monarch throne again. Rumble! Crack! Compared to the bell of heaven's reincarnation, the throne's quality was inferior. The successive collisions caused the throne to emit a terrifying sound, and a ferocious crack appeared clearly. Heavenly punishment, divine eye, heavenly punishment. Tion's divine eye opened again and shot out a beam of heavenly punishment, divine light, directly sweeping towards the dragon demon crown prince. Once heavenly punishment appeared, no matter how noble or powerful you were, you would still fall into the mortal realm. Heavenly punishment, divine light? Impossible. Are you from the heavenly punishment clan? No, you can't be from the heavenly punishment clan. Limitless demon world, block the divine light for this prince. The moment the dragon demon crown prince saw the heavenly punishment, divine light, his eyes revealed a look of horror. Without even thinking, his body flashed, and a pitch-black inner world instantly enveloped him. Protecting the inner world, he wanted to dodge the mighty power of the heavenly punishment, divine light. Break! The purple gold heavenly punishment, divine light, carrying the judgment of heaven and earth, instantly swept across. The dragon demon crown prince was really too close to Tion. In almost the blink of an eye, the resplendent heavenly punishment, divine light immediately swept over. It landed on the limitless demon world, which emitted an extremely strong repulsive force. It wanted to block the heavenly punishment, divine light outside the inner world. Clang! A resplendent golden saber light instantly descended, slashing onto the limitless demon world. Crack! Within the tiger soul, the supreme power of 3,000 gods and demons appeared. The power of this slash could simply split the heavens and earth apart. The demon world that was originally blocking the heavenly punishment divine light was split open on the spot. No! Boundless devil chi burst out from the dragon demon crown prince's body, and defensive demon treasures quickly appeared one after another. However, the heavenly punishment divine light was like an illusion, instantly shuttling through all the demon treasures, directly brushing against his body. A mournful scream rang out. Die! Shirtian's entire body broke through the air, rushing into the inner world, and stepped towards the dragon demon crown prince's head. He wanted to stomp him to death, stomp him to death. To be continued. If you want to know what happens next, please go to www.chidian.com and read more chapters. Support the author, support the original reading. Chapter 783. Extreme Emperor Heaven Battling Steps. 1 step, mountains and rivers collapse. Shirtian's demonic flames soared to the heavens. At this moment, the heavenly punishment divine light swept down, instantly pushing the dragon devil crown prince down a realm, from the sky demon intermediate stage to the early stage. Tiger Soul opened up a path and broke through the infinite demon world. Then, he stomped down on Meng Chao's head. This stomp was something he had deduced for nearly 900 years, fused with 8 desolation steps, and many other footwork technique. It was something he had deduced after all sorts of concepts were completely condensed together. The ultimate Emperor Heaven warring steps. Under his left foot, a beautiful picture of thousands of miles of mountains and rivers faintly appeared. It looked incomparably fantastical, like a fairyland. However, this picture instantly collapsed, and the mountains and rivers inside collapsed at the same time. The terrifying power of the mountains and rivers poured down. Bang! You deserve to die. Origin Dragon Devil Lightning, explode for this crown prince. The dragon devil crown prince's eyes were scarlet red, and his devil hair danced wildly. He sat upright on the dragon devil throne, and the cracks on the throne were still clearly visible. He saw Shirtian stepping towards him, and in his hand, a palm-sized dragon-shaped devil lightning suddenly smashed towards Shirtian. It collided with the descending left foot, and the devil lightning exploded. Countless dragon-shaped lightning energy instantly exploded, distorting the entire void. He had actually managed to block the extreme Emperor Heaven battling step. Another star destruction step. His right foot once again stepped out. This time, a picture of billions of stars appeared under his foot, as if the entire ancient star space had really appeared under his foot. Countless stars were constantly annihilated, and the terrifying power of the stars erupted, almost causing the void under his foot to completely collapse. It was as if the entire star space was completely annihilated, and the power that erupted from the annihilation was truly earth-shattering. The dragon devil crown prince only felt that a terrifying star space was crushing towards him. No, dragon demon throne, my immortal body, dragon demon god devouring halberd, demon dragon slaying the heavens. On the dragon demon throne, a dharma idol with the body of a demon god, a huge black dragon head on its neck, and terrifying dragon claws covered with fine dragon scales appeared. As soon as this dharma idol appeared, it immediately emitted a vast dragon's might. The demon god's aura swept through the void. The 2 closed dragon eyes suddenly opened. The left eye opened and a demon moon appeared, while the right eye opened and a terrifying sun appeared. Lunar divine light. The divine light of the sun. 2 beams of light, one of extreme yin and the other of extreme yang, shot out from the celestial fiend's eyes and swept towards Shirtian, intending to completely pierce through him. Clang! The bell of heaven's samsara appeared above his head and shone with divine light. As the ancient bell shook, clear and ancient bell chimes could be heard one after another. Countless strange sound waves were emitted and the void was distorted. He stood in front of the two divine lights. The mighty power of the stars of annihilation under his feet stomped on the halberd. The tyrannical mighty power forcibly shattered the halberd on the spot. This stomp seemed to have condensed the mighty power contained in the first stomp. Its power was more than 10 times stronger than the first stomp. An ancient heavenly demon could cause a 10,000 zhang tall mountain to collapse with a casual stomp. Bang! After blasting the halberd away, the third stomp was launched. Third stomp Sun-Moon Revolution. At the same time, the image of the sun and moon appeared under his feet. The terrifying power of the sun and moon intertwined and instantly stomped down. Rumble! The void under his feet began to be completely annihilated on the spot. It collapsed and shattered inch by inch. Endless destructive power swept towards the dragon demon crown prince once again. The demon god protecting the dragon demon throne was crushed inch by the foot. It was destroyed on the spot by the tyrannical mighty power. Humph! This crown prince is the crown prince of the dragon demon palace. My status is noble, how can I die in your hands? Demon Eye of Annihilation, Eye of Annihilation. The dragon demon crown prince's eyes were filled with madness. The mysterious demon mark between his brows instantly blossomed with resplendent demon light, and a terrifying aura spread out. Gotcha! The surrounding void couldn't help but crack open. It was incomparably clear, like a crack on glass. The void strangely froze, as if it was a solid piece of glass. The cracks on it rapidly spread at a speed visible to the naked eye. Whoosh! The demon mark flickered and quickly opened to the side. A pitch-black, ice-cold demon eye with the will to annihilate the world constantly opened. It only opened a little, but the terrifying power of annihilation poured out. The surrounding void was quickly filled with countless sinister and terrifying cracks at a speed visible to the naked eye. Bang! Large expanses of the void strangely collapsed and were completely annihilated. Even everything in the void was reduced to dust in an instant. Not even a trace of it was left behind. Dong! However, in an instant, an ancient bell from the void crashed into the dragon demon crown prince's head at an astonishing speed. With a bang, the entire head was smashed like a huge watermelon, instantly bursting open. A large amount of flesh and blood shot out in all directions. Undying demon body! A furious roar rang out. The flesh and blood that had been shattered flew back from the void under a supreme will. The smashed head was actually about to grow back again. However, at this moment a foot stomped down. Countless mountains, rivers, suns, moons, and stars appeared under his foot. 4 trampling 8 desolation break. Bang! A vast power instantly stepped on the dragon demon crown prince's body. On the spot, the head that grew back was once again smashed into pieces. You want to scheme against I? I'll trample you to death. 1 foot, 2 feet, 3 feet, respectively stepping on the arm, the chest, and even the lower body. The dragon demon crown prince's entire body collapsed at a speed visible to the naked eye. Die together with this prince, destroy jade and common stone. The dragon demon crown prince had an undying demon body. Even if it was crushed, his body would quickly gather and grow back. Suddenly, his demon body expanded at a speed visible to the naked eye. The destructive power of the demon god crazily gushed out from his body. Rumble! His entire body expanded to the limit in an instant and suddenly exploded. He used his final move, self-detonation, to drag Di Shirtian down with him. Dragon Demon Crown Prince. The 7 Fiends Demon Sovereign and the secluded Spring Holy Maiden exclaimed at the same time. Everything happened so quickly that even they couldn't react in time. They saw the Dragon Demon Crown Prince being forced to use self-detonation to destroy Jade and Common Stone together with his opponent. Kill! The 7 Fiends Demon Sovereign didn't hesitate. He moved his body and was about to rush toward Di Shirtian. However, the moment he moved, a pitch-black dagger silently swept toward his neck. Slit throat! Ding! The dagger was sharp, but the seven fiends' demon venerable's body was tough and powerful. The sudden attack only left a small cut on his neck. Traces of demon blood seeped out, and the curse on the dagger entered his body through the wound. Emperor Assassin! The baleful aura in the seven fiends' demon sovereign's eyes seemed to be about to burst out. Light flashed in his hand, and a three-pointed double-edged blade exuding boundless baleful aura slashed toward the left. Crack! On the secluded spring holy maiden's side, a blood-red battle blade appeared and slashed out with cold killing intent. Self-detonation. If you hadn't done this before I became an ancient heavenly demon, and before this world removed the restrictions on magic power and abilities, I might have been seriously injured by this move of yours. But now, it's just a small trick in front of me. Reincarnation of the heavens. Chertion calmly looked at the dragon demon crown prince's self-detonation. With a boom, boundless destructive power of the demon god madly burst out, instantly enveloping the entire void within a radius of 1,000 miles, forming a terrifying pitch-black domain. It wanted to devour everything that was in this place. However, the bell of heaven's samsara above Chertion's head began to spin. The mouth of the bell became incomparably deep, and as it spun, it turned into a strange hole. A strange concept of samsara emanated from it, causing the surrounding void to distort and form a terrifying vortex. In the vortex there seemed to be countless worlds being born in the cycle of reincarnation. The violent power of the demon god in the surroundings was instantly sucked into the vortex as soon as it entered the range. The bell of heaven's samsara was like a bottomless pit, continuously devouring the vast destructive power like a tide. If anyone could see at this moment, they would discover that a heaven's small world had appeared in the bell of heaven's samsara. It was originally empty, but in the blink of an eye, vast amounts of demon god power gushed in endlessly. It filled the entire small world, and in the blink of an eye, it immediately became a demon domain. The meaning of heaven's samsara within the bell of heaven's samsara was the meaning of countless heaven's worlds contained within the bell. It should be known that the bell gathered the power of the world, the power of life, the power of sealing, the power of reincarnation, and so on. All kinds of mystical powers caused this natal spiritual treasure to be able to create many small worlds within the bell as long as it continued to evolve, containing countless spatial fault. The treasure of heaven and earth within the bell. The sound of the bell froze the void. The power of reincarnation devoured the vast amount of demon god power. After being cleansed by the power of reincarnation, it poured into a small world derived from the bell, turning it into a strange demon domain. It was filled with endless demon god power and boundless essence. In a situation where one could use their cultivation abhijna, the power of the natal spiritual treasure was completely unleashed. Although the destructive power of the self-detonation caused the surrounding void to be annihilated, it was unable to harm Chertion at all. Standing proudly in this demon domain, he was like an ancient emperor looking down on all eternity, trying to cross the sea by deceiving the heavens and secretly sneaking around. In front of you're simply displaying your slight skill before an expert. Today, I said that I'll kill you, so don't even think of getting away with it. Soul assimilating divine light, let I absorb your demon soul. Chertion laughed coldly. A brilliant divine light shot out from the divine eye. Divine eye of punishment, soul assimilating divine light. It swept towards a remote corner. Chertion, do you really want to kill me? You'll regret it. My royal father will definitely avenge me. You're dead for sure. As long as I die, my royal father will immediately know. At that time, even if you have the ability to reach the heavens, you'll still be beaten into the 9 underworld. Don't think that you'll be fine in the source world. Let me tell you, my demonic dragon palace, even in the source world, still has hidden chess pieces. If you kill me, you're dead for sure. The soul-assimilating divine light was simply the nemesis of all kinds of divine souls in the world. Under the illumination of the divine light, the demonic dragon crown prince, who was about to quickly escape, instantly revealed his demon soul. Bound by the divine light, he was forcibly pulled into the divine eye, wanting to completely suppress and obliterate him. To be continued. If you want to know what happened next, please go to www.chidian.com. Support the author, support the original reading. Chapter 784. If I say I'm going to kill you, then I'm going to kill you. No matter how powerful your father is, or how many hidden pawns you have, I'll kill one if one comes. If two come, I'll slaughter both. In the past, I was weak, but now that I've become an ancient heavenly demon, I'll kill anyone who dares to provoke me other than the strongest. Even the heavens won't be able to save you. Shurtian's heart was cold to the end. Back then, he had risen from nothing. Every step he took was like walking on the edge of a cliff. He had been obstructed by experts time and time again. He had buried those memories deep in his heart, never forgetting them. However, he didn't do anything because he knew very well that even if he was a demon emperor, he was just an ant that could be killed with a finger in the eyes of those experts. Therefore, he had to accumulate strength. He had to raise his strength at all costs. It was only after entering the exiled lands that he was able to truly soar. He had been unstoppable all the way until he became an ancient demon saint. Then, he had just broken through to the ancient heavenly demon realm and cultivated the immortal body. His battle strength couldn't be measured by someone who had just stepped into the heavenly demon realm. It was comparable to an ancient heavenly demon late stage, or even a peak heavenly demon. Such battle strength had given him the qualifications to truly enter the chessboard of heaven and earth. Afraid? Did he need to be afraid now? So what if he was an ancient powerhouse? If anyone dares to provoke me, I'll beat them into a dog. The invisible shackles that bound his hands and feet were completely released the moment he became an ancient heavenly demon. First, he would be a grandson, then an ancestor. He had been a grandson before, and now he wanted to be an ancestor. With a thought, the soul-assimilating divine light didn't stop. It directly sucked the dragon demon crown prince's soul into the nether prison and suppressed it under the karma mirror. Dark, you're most familiar with all kinds of torture methods. Pry open his mouth for I interrogate him about his demonic arts and the situation of the demon god continent. I don't want to know the process. I only want the result. After the interrogation, throw him into the saint's spirit altar. The demon god's soul is the best candidate for the saint's spirit. Shurtian suppressed the dragon demon crown prince's soul and entrusted the task to Dark. Don't worry. I'll treat him well. Dark said with a strange voice, rubbing his palms together. Extreme Emperor Creation Palm. Xing he circlet. With a wave of his hand, Shurtian absorbed all of the dragon devil prince's demonic treasures into his hand and instantly sent them into his inner world. It was sealed again. Clang. The bell of heaven's samsara shook as a crisp and ancient bell chime reverberated in the air. Waves of sound waves spread out in all directions like a tide. The sound waves exuded a will that could suppress the heavens. Wherever the sound waves passed, the rampaging chi rapidly calmed down at a speed visible to the naked eye. The Dragon Devil Crown Prince, the Dragon Devil Crown Prince who possessed boundless power in the Devil City, had actually been blown apart before he could even cover his ears. This fact simply caused those who witnessed it to be overwhelmed with shock and fear. Head! Shurtian extended his hand into the air, and the essence chi left behind by the Dragon Devil Crown Prince's self-destruction quickly condensed into a head. That head was a pitch-black dragon head. He grabbed the dragon head and lifted it up. With a flash of light, the wine god's gourd appeared in his hand. He opened the gourd and poured the wine into the dragon head. The dark green bloodshed amber wine was poured directly into the head. In the blink of an eye, a full jar was filled. With a wave of his hand, the wine god's gourd rushed into the bell of heaven's samsara and instantly fused with the ancient bell. In the blink of an eye, on the picture of the bell, a dark green gourd appeared on the illusory gourd vine. It hung on the vine and swayed with the wind. It appeared lifelike. Gulp! He raised his head and drank the wine in the head in one gulp. Satisfying! Chertion only felt that his body and mind were at ease. He casually tossed the head and looked around. Hiss! The many experts who had originally gathered in the surroundings only felt an invisible pressure crushing over in front of them. Their hearts tightened and their feet involuntarily took a step back. They looked at the head that was thrown into the air in shock. With a snap of his fingers, he killed a person in 10 steps. He raised his hand and took the head, drinking in the jar. Chertion's tyrannical heaven-defying battle strength had already been proven by a sky demon middle-stage dragon devil crown prince at this moment. He truly had heaven-defying battle strength. They originally wanted to obtain the reward of killing the demon emperor, but now it was as if a jar of ice water had been poured over their hearts. Their hearts were filled with fear. Who would dare to take half a step forward? Holy Maiden, let's go back to the demonic capital! The 7 fiends' demon sovereign's pupils contracted. A light flashed in his hand and a jet-black jade talisman appeared. The 3-pointed, double-edged blade forced the assassin emperor away and appeared beside the dark spring Holy Maiden. He crushed the jade talisman and a pitch-black demonic gate appeared in front of him. At the same time, he entered the demonic gate and disappeared. Demon Emperor, you must die! All that was left was a sentence that sounded like a curse that kept echoing in the air. Clang! A golden saber light instantly slashed the demonic gate, destroying it on the spot. However, the 7 fiends' demon sovereign and the others were not left behind. Consider yourself lucky that you left quickly. The 7 fiends' demon sovereign's decisiveness caused killing intent to flash through Chertion's heart. However, now was not the time to care about this. He swept his gaze across the surroundings. Schwescher was fighting fiercely with the bronze giant, Lei Bao, in the Blood Sea. The 4 legions had transformed into the 4 godly beasts and were fighting fiercely with the 10,000 Bones Dragon King, Star River Swordmaster, Fire Fox Emperor, and Arrow Emperor. The 4 legions used the battle formation to condense the true forms of the 4 divine beasts that were not inferior to the ancient overlords. Their battle strength was extremely tyrannical. However, in terms of consciousness and the use of power, they were not as strong as the 4 overlords. In the battle, they were clearly at a disadvantage. 4 legions, listen to my order. Retreat! Chertion's expression turned cold. It was as if there was a staircase under his feet. He stepped on the void as if he was walking on flat ground. His right hand slapped towards the myriad Bone Dragon King that was fighting with the Azure Dragon Legion. Rumble! In the void, the vast power of the void gathered rapidly from all directions, condensing into a giant purple-gold hand that blotted out the sky. The purple-gold hand faintly contained countless voids, evolving all kinds of calamities, containing endless power of the void. Extreme Emperor Creation Palm, Infinite Void. Under the Infinite Void Palm, the void energy evolved into a myriad of calamities and erupted with the power of void calamities. Gods and Buddhas that stood in their way would be killed. Demon Emperor, this is just a misunderstanding. I just want to learn from your subordinates. I have no intention to be your enemy. I will retreat now. We will mind our own business in the future. When the myriad Bone Dragon King saw the purple-gold hand condensed in the void, the soul flame in its eyes flickered violently. It felt as if the hand was connected to the entire void. The entire void was emitting a vast pressure that wanted to crush it. Even the myriad Bone Dragon King felt a kind of fear from that pressure. It quickly cried out, "Imperial Dragon Overlord Fist!" However, he waved his dragon claw and instantly blasted out a punch. As the punch blasted out, 10,000 bone dragons formed and frantically bombarded the purple-gold hand that was pressing down from the void. The 10,000 bone dragons danced wildly, wanting to destroy the entire void hand with one punch. Within the fist, the void was violently vibrating and twisting. Boundless dominance was completely revealed in the fist intent. He wanted to show his strength to Di-Shirtion. He wanted to let him know that he should not underestimate him. If they really fought, he might not have a good time. Peace was the best thing to do. The 10,000 bone dragons ferociously bombarded the purple-gold hand. Humph! Sakura snorted coldly, and the myriad tribulation void hand instantly dropped down. Rumble! The moment it fell, the entire void seemed to be crushed down. Even the sky seemed to be sinking down. The boundless pressure instantly erupted with endless void power. When the palm hit the bone dragons, the void power circulated and the bone dragons were sucked into the purple-gold hand. Countless void power condensed into blades and crushed the bone dragons inch by inch. Bang! The purple-gold hand contained the supreme will of the void. In the void, countless calamities were brewing. When Di-Shirtion used it with his ancient heavenly demon cultivation, it was a terrifying force that could destroy a world with one palm. Those tens of thousands of bone dragons were simply like bubbles, collapsing one after another under the great void hand. The palm directly hit the myriad bone dragon king. Rumble! The surrounding void instantly collapsed and turned into countless destructive void power. Under the palm, countless dense cracks appeared on the dragon bones of the myriad bone dragon king. It was hideous and terrifying. He had actually shattered the incomparably tough bone dragon's body with a single palm strike. Bang! Without giving him any chance to react, a large foot stomped down on the spot. Fifth stomp, shattering heaven and earth. The heavens under the foot were constantly being destroyed, erupting with a terrifying force that could shatter heaven and earth. Crack! With this stomp, the entire body of the myriad bones dragon king was smashed into pieces on the spot. However, the fragments of the dragon's body were quickly gathering together at a speed visible to the naked eye. The myriad bone dragon king was an expert who had cultivated the immortal body. How could he be killed so easily? Bell of Heaven's reincarnation, seal. The ancient bell instantly enlarged. The mouth of the bell wrapped around the myriad bone dragon king and sucked him into the ancient bell. He was sent into a small world within the bell. The sealing power surged and suppressed him within the bell. Rumble! However, at the same time, the entire ancient bell trembled violently. It instantly suppressed an ancient giant. The impact from the myriad bone dragon king caused the ancient bell to vibrate. Faint rumbles could be heard. Go, the demon king is too ferocious. Let's join forces and suppress him. Otherwise we are all doomed. With his heaven-defying combat strength, we will all die if we go alone. The Fire Fox Emperor's eyes flashed with fear as he shouted wildly. Behind him, the three huge red fox tails danced violently, emitting a terrifying raging fire that swept towards Di-Shirtion. That's right. We only have a chance if we join forces. We have no way out. Sword Venerable Xing, he said solemnly. Kill! The Arrow Emperor spat out coldly. He quickly drew the war bow in his hand. To be continued. If you want to know what happens next, please go to www.chidian.com. There are more chapters. I support the author and I support the original readers. Chapter 785. Sakura's demonic flames filled the sky and were simply unstoppable. Not only did he kill the Dragon Devil Crown Prince in one fell swoop, he even shattered the Myriad Bones Dragon King with a flip of his hand and suppressed him within the Bell of Heaven's reincarnation. His ferocious might was like a torrential flood. Awe-inspiring aura was not gained through shouting, but through fighting and killing. At this moment, even a frown or a glance from him was enough to cause the hearts of the surrounding experts to tremble. The strength of his aura had reached a pinnacle, and his heaven-defying supreme battle prowess was thoroughly displayed. At this moment, the Star River Swordmaster and the other two primordial immortal emperors joined forces. They resisted the oncoming monstrous demonic flames. The Beast Tribe was a race created by the savage beasts during the Desolate Era using their own bloodlines. They were slaves to the savage beasts. When the savage beasts were hungry, they were the food in their mouth. Later on, the Demon Tribe and hundreds of other tribes in the Purple Gold Continent rose up and engaged in a life-and-death battle with the savage beasts. The Beast Tribe took the opportunity to rebel against the savage beasts and become an independent tribe. However, the savage beast bloodline in their bodies made them naturally aggressive. Moreover, their wild nature was difficult to tame. The strength of their bloodline gave them extremely powerful battle prowess. They could often inherit some of the abijnas of their own bloodline. They were extremely powerful. The Fire Fox Emperor in front of him had the bloodline of the king of savage beasts, the Purple Flasher Fox. When the Purple Flasher Fox matured, it would grow 6 tails, and each tail contained a shocking amount of Flasher Heavenly Fire. This Flasher Heavenly Fire was not much different from the Grand Sun Primordial Fire. It could incinerate everything, including yuan qi, metal, rocks, flesh, and blood. Anything that came into contact with the Flasher Heavenly Fire would be incinerated to ashes. Even the most ancient of giants wouldn't dare to touch them. Because the Fox Emperor wasn't a savage beast, he only had the bloodline of a savage beast. Although he was an ancient powerhouse, he only had 3 dazzling purple tails. Whoosh whoosh whoosh. Facing Sakra's overbearing power, the Fire Fox Emperor didn't hesitate at all. The 3 purple tails behind him instantly glowed with purple flames and expanded violently. In the blink of an eye, they became 3,000 feet long. Swaying with the wind, the purple tails swept towards Sakra with terrifying flames. In the blink of an eye, the entire void was covered in flames. Xing He's sword technique. Qi Rush Xing He. The Xing He sword sovereign waved the ancient sword in his hand. The moment he attacked, he unleashed one of the killing moves of the Xing He sword technique. With a wave of the ancient sword, the void was destroyed as a vast river formed by the convergence of countless constellations appeared, directly gushing towards Di Shirtion. Within the river there were countless constellations. Everywhere the sword passed, the void would be destroyed. It was like a Xing He rolling over. Even gods and devils would fall under the influence of Xing He. 4 Seasons Reincarnation Arrow. On the battle bow in the Arrow Emperor's hand, a crystalline feather was used as an arrow. An inexplicable power was injected into the arrow, and the surrounding yuan qi of heaven and earth gathered like a tide. With a whoosh, the feather left the bowstring, and suddenly, there were 4 types of power that were continuously reincarnating. All sorts of illusions appeared around the arrow. For a moment it was like spring wind and rain. The sun shone brightly, the birds chirped, the flowers bloomed, and the rivers thawed. All things were rejuvenated. It exuded vitality. For a moment it was like the scorching sun in summer, with thunderstorms and torrential rain. The mountains and rivers were on the verge of being destroyed. After a while, it was like the autumn wind was bleak. Fallen leaves fluttered in the wind, and frost filled the horizon. Fallen leaves fluttered in the wind, and the sun set in the west. Thousands of trees withered. The final scene was the winter plum blossoms in full bloom. The cold wind was bone-chilling, and white snow fluttered in the wind. It was a scene of boundless heaven and earth. Spring, summer, autumn, and winter. At this moment, the cycle of the 4 seasons appeared before everyone's eyes. The cycle of the 4 seasons represented the spring and autumn. The spring and autumn represented the cycle of time. The power of the 4 seasons gave birth to the power of time. This was the 4 seasons reincarnation arrow, which was also the arrow of time. With one arrow, time would flow and send you into reincarnation. Those who were hit by the arrow would instantly be corroded by time and turned into dust. This was one of the Wing tribe's most powerful techniques. Killer moves: dazzling heavenly fire, Chi Rush Xing He, 4 seasons reincarnation arrow. The 3 killer moves attacked Di Shirtian at almost the same time, sealing off all the escape routes in the void. There was no room for escape. This attack existed to kill him. In an instant, the light of the arrow, Xing He, and dazzling heavenly fire filled the entire sky. Even the void could not withstand this terrifying killing power. In an extreme distortion, it collapsed, and countless black holes appeared. The entire sky shook violently as if it was going to be destroyed. Extreme Royal Emperor Seal, Tautai Seal. Extreme Royal Emperor Seal, Monarch Seal. Extreme Royal Emperor Seal, Demonic Seal. Extreme Royal Emperor Seal, Nirvana Seal. 4 seals suppressed the heavens, suppressing all directions. Di Shirtian's heart moved. In the 11th rank Black Lotus in the demon abode, the 4 lotus seeds vibrated continuously, bursting with divine power. Following the seals, they quickly condensed into 4 ancient seals. The Tautai Seal. The image of a Tautai appeared in the seal. The Tautya's body was vast and boundless, and its head was extremely ferocious. It opened its mouth wide and was about to swallow. A huge vortex formed in the seal. The Tautai. The Tautai fed on everything in the world. It could swallow almost anything. In the end, it could even swallow the heavens and the earth. It faced the dazzling heavenly fire. In an instant, the Tautai seal exploded with shocking power. The supreme devouring will forcefully swallowed the dazzling heavenly fire. It blocked the purple tail of the dazzling heavenly fire and collided violently. The demonic god seal. In the ancient seal, the vast power of the demonic god gathered, condensing the ancient seal into something substantial. 3,000 demonic gods guarded the ancient seal, like 3,000 great daos, suppressing the ancient times. The vast power of the demonic god could simply smash the heavens and the earth into dust. The ancient seal instantly grew to 1,000 feet long, and ancient mysterious runes appeared on it. It communicated with the heavens and the earth. This seal smashed towards the mighty Xing He that was charging towards it. The Paradise Seal. Inside, countless devout believers were praying. It was as if they saw the most sacred God in their hearts. The place they were in was the boundless paradise. There was no suffering. It was the supreme land of paradise. Countless prayers rang out, giving people the illusion that they were going to throw themselves into the prayers and betray their faith. With this seal, you will be sent to paradise. This seal smashed towards the terrifying 4 seasons reincarnation arrow. The Emperor's seal turned into a jade seal, and Di Shirtian grabbed it with one hand. Wearing the Emperor's robe and holding the Emperor's jade seal, his power was boundless. Rumble. These 4 ancient seals contained a supreme will, and when they were executed by the Sakra, their might was so strong that it was simply incomparable to before. Under the Tautai seal, the dazzling heavenly fire was swallowed up continuously. It was like a hot knife through butter, and it smashed into the purple tail of the dazzling heavenly fire. It let out a terrifying roar. The Firefox Emperor was sent flying 1,000 feet away, and blood spurted from his mouth. The ancient seal crumbled on the spot. The godly demon seal suppressed the void. When it smashed down, the Xing He collapsed, and countless stars were destroyed. The domineering godly demon seal, supported by the 3,000 godly demons, was almost unstoppable. It destroyed the Xing He, and it collided violently with the Xing He Swordmaster. The Xing He Swordmaster was struck by lightning, and he retreated rapidly. On the other hand, the Paradise Seal was in a stalemate with the 4 seasons reincarnation arrow. The power of paradise and the power of time clashed, and the void was shattered. The ancient seal and arrow were destroyed at the same time. Bang! 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 Di Shirtian held the Emperor's jade seal in his hand, and he stepped on the void as if he was walking on flat ground. He had an unusual calmness, and with a flip of his hand, not only did he break through the joint attack of the 3 ancient giants, but he also gained the upper hand. He walked casually towards the three experts. The bell of heaven's reincarnation above his head shone with the light of reincarnation. The formless power instantly suppressed the entire heaven and earth. It was as if even breathing had become abnormally difficult. Firefox Emperor. Suddenly, Tion spat out a cold sentence from his mouth. Kill! The Firefox Emperor did not even wipe away the blood at the corner of his mouth. His face revealed a ferocious expression. As an expert who had survived the exiled lands, he had never lacked the will to fight. Even Tian's monstrous power could not break the resolve in his heart. He roared and was about to attack again. However, the moment he agreed, the gourd painting on the bell of heaven's samsara seemed to come alive. A vivid painting appeared in front of his eyes. An illusory gourd vine grew tenaciously. On the vine there were two lifelike gourds, one black and one jade green, hanging from it. It looked very mystical. At this moment, the pitch-black gourd detached from the vine and opened its lid. A terrifying suction force was emitted from the gourd, and in an instant, the Firefox Emperor was bound and sucked into the gourd. Smack! The gourd quickly closed, and a small gourd grew out and hung back on the vine. It looked as small and cute as ever, and even swayed a few times in the wind. It had a natural charm. This scene fell into the eyes of many experts. It was as if they had seen the most terrifying thing in the world. That gourd was the demonic treasure that the dragon demon crown prince had used to suck Tion into. This demonic treasure could fuse with the bell of heaven's reincarnation and use the same supreme power. How miraculous was that ancient bell! Connate spiritual treasure. Could this be the power of a connate spiritual treasure? Another one of the three ancient giants had been sucked in and suppressed in an instant. Even the ancient giants had to bow their heads in submission with just a wave of his hand. Countless demons saw this, and the fanaticism in their eyes became even more intense and devout. Waves of faith poured into Tian's body continuously. Run! The surviving honorable swordsman Xing He and the Arrow Emperor looked at each other and saw the same look in each other's eyes. Without thinking, the Arrow Emperor's wings flapped violently, and 3,000 feathers broke out of his body and turned into 3,000 terrifying arrows. The war bow in his hand became huge, and the war bow was pulled into a full moon shape. 3,000 arrows pierced through the air with astonishing power. Ultimate archery skill, star arrow formation. One arrow to kill gods. After shooting an arrow, the Arrow Emperor flapped his wings and turned into a dazzling ray of light that pierced through the air towards the southeast. The honorable swordsman Xing He was even more ruthless. His body flashed, and he took the opportunity to turn into 3,000 stars that broke through the air in all directions. To be continued. If you want to know what happened next, please go to www.chidian.com to read more chapters. Support the author, support the original reading. Chapter 786. At the moment when Honorable Sword Xing He split his body into the stars. Trying to escape. Tion snorted coldly and threw the imperial seal in his hand into the air. The imperial seal grew in the wind, and in the blink of an eye, it expanded to 3,000 feet. In the ancient seal, an ancient emperor stood upright and exuded supreme majesty. It smashed towards the stars that were about to disperse. Rumble! Void space collapsed under this seal. Thousands of stars were crushed into dust by this seal. However, the Star River Sword Master lived up to his name. The stars that he split into did not fly in the same direction. Instead, they flew in all directions. Their speed was so fast that they resembled falling stars. Even though the seal smashed many stars, there were still thousands of stars that escaped strangely. The Arrow Emperor used an unknown ability and disappeared without a trace in the blink of an eye. Experts who could cultivate to the level of immortal overlords had immortal bodies or immortal primordial spirit. They were extremely difficult to kill. If they really wanted to escape, given their strength, it was almost impossible for them to truly die. It was extremely difficult to stop them, unless they encountered a heaven-defying existence that they couldn't contend against. Honorable Sword Xing He and the Arrow Emperor did not care about their reputation and turned to escape. They escaped very quickly. In their hearts, they were even more certain now. What a joke! If we don't escape, are we waiting for death? The Demon Emperor's battle strength after breaking free from the shackles of heaven and earth is too heaven-defying. He can even destroy the killing move that we launched together. This battle strength is completely above us. Reputation, how much is reputation worth? It's fine as long as we can stay alive. Look at the fate of the 10,000 Bones Dragon King and the Firefox Emperor. They were either crushed or suppressed. Where there is life, there is hope. 2 ancient giants actually escaped from Deshirtian. This scene, in the eyes of others, almost made their eyeballs fall out. Dan Huang. When Sakura saw the 2 experts fleeing in different directions, he knew that the current situation wasn't suitable for him to chase after them. He coldly snorted and retracted his gaze. Looking at the Pill Emperor who was standing on a mountain peak, he calmly spat out 2 words. The Pill Sovereign's expression changed slightly. He shut his mouth tightly and glanced at the picture of the gourd vine on the ancient bell above his head. He didn't even reply. He directly cast a silence spell on his mouth, turned around, and fled madly toward the city of exiles. He didn't even retrieve the Saint Lotus of Purification that was in midair. She took to her heels and ran. The eyes of the surrounding experts nearly popped out of their sockets. No one could have imagined that Dan Huang, who had enjoyed a great reputation in the land of exile, possessed boundless wealth, and had practically monopolized the entire medicinal pill market, would actually flee without a fight. Moreover, he fled in such a straightforward manner, and he fled in such a carefree manner. Many people were so shocked by this scene that they couldn't even close their mouths. Whoosh! The saintly lotus of purification turned into a stream of light and was about to flee into the distance. He followed Dan Huang. You want to leave? Leave it for I. When Deshirtian saw Dan Huang turn around and flee, he couldn't help but shake his head in disdain. However, even if Dan Huang had escaped, the saintly lotus of purification would not be able to escape with him. He stretched out his hand. Extreme Emperor Creation Palm, stealing the sky and sun. He grabbed the saintly lotus of purification in his hand. Boom! When the saintly lotus was caught, the entire lotus body suddenly shook. A primordial spirit brand instantly broke out of the lotus and escaped with lightning speed. It was Dan Huang who had decisively released the primordial spirit brand in the saintly lotus. Cherishing his life. He really cherished his life more than an ordinary person. It turned out that Dan Huang was really afraid of death. 1,000-year-old tortoise, a 10,000-year-old turtle. The longer one lived, the more one feared death. The Alchemy Emperor had relied on his alchemy skills and the excellent conditions of his inner world to monopolize the entire alchemy market. Over the countless years he had spent in the exiled land, he had plundered countless treasures and collected countless treasures. If he claimed to be the second richest person in the exiled land, no one would dare to claim to be the first. However, the more good things he had, the more he feared death. There were so many good treasures that he couldn't enjoy them all. If he really died, how could he bear to do so? His guts were even smaller than a mouse's. In his bones, he was a classic example of bullying the weak and fearing the strong. Now that he saw Deshirtian's unparalleled ferocity, he could even kill an ancient giant without hesitation. He suppressed him without hesitation. He was so scared that his little heart was beating wildly. When he heard Deshirtian shout, he didn't even think about it and ran away. What a joke! His life was more important. Puff! Sitting on the back of the red-crowned crane, Treasure Boy spat out the spirit wine that he had poured into his throat. His small face was red and he coughed violently. He was quite shocked by this. Dan Wang is really a person who cherishes his life. The Grim Reaper curled his lips in disdain and sneered. Dan Wang is really carefree when he runs away. He's a role model for our generation. A skinny cultivator with a wretched expression and a filthy expression looked in the direction that the Pill Sovereign had fled in with eyes full of admiration as he spoke with great emotion. A wise man submits to circumstances. The demon emperor is now full of demonic flames. Anyone who tries to stop him will die. Running away is the best choice. I'm impressed. The cultivators discussed animatedly. Explode. At this moment, the sea of blood on the other side also changed. Amidst a shrill roar, the sea of blood suddenly exploded, stirring up countless terrifying waves. Swoosh, swoosh, swoosh. In an instant, countless cracks appeared in the sea of blood. Droplets of bronze-colored essence blood shot out from the sea of blood and quickly scattered in all directions. Reincarnation of the heavens, sealed the blood essence. Reincarnation cleanse, fuse into the ancient bell. When Di Shirtian saw this, he did not even think about it. He stretched out his hand and pointed at the heaven's reincarnation bell. In an instant, the ancient bell flew out quickly. The divine reincarnation light swept across like a black hole, sucking in a large amount of blood essence that splashed out into the ancient bell. In the blink of an eye, more than 3,000 drops of blood essence were sucked into the ancient bell. In the bell, waves of reincarnation force began to cleanse the blood essence. Boom! The blood sea disappeared. Schwescher, dressed in a red robe and full of cold killing intent, walked out of the blood sea. He came in front of Di Shirtian and said in a deep voice, "Your Majesty, Lei Bao has been defeated by Schwescher. However, he is not completely dead. A lot of his blood essence still escape. I'm afraid that he will condense his body and be reborn again. However, even if he is reborn, his strength will be severely damaged and he will not be able to recover in a short time." Schwescher's words made many cultivators' faces change dramatically. Schwescher was a fierce god in the banished land. He was a killing god who had climbed out of a mountain of corpses and a sea of blood. Chase. Di Shirtian nodded slightly and said softly, "Your Majesty's order." Schwescher's body trembled. A cruel and bloodthirsty smile appeared at the corner of his mouth. He knew that this word was a must-kill order. Schwescher turned around and looked around. He immediately chased in a direction. This time, he would not rest until he completely killed Lei Bao. This scene made many cultivators tremble in fear. They were secretly glad that they did not act rashly just now. Otherwise, they might not even be able to keep their lives. Haha, exciting, really exciting. It seems that this old man did not make a mistake in coming out this time. I can actually witness such an exciting battle with my own eyes. The demonic demon king displayed his invincible power. Treasure of many treasures congratulated the demonic demon king for ascending to the ancient heavenly demon realm. His strength is incredible and he can break this cage anytime. How enviable! Treasure of many treasures boy sat on the back of the red-crowned crane and said with a smile, "Very good." The Grim Reaper also nodded and said, "You're welcome." Di Shirtian nodded casually. He did not intend to offend these experts who did not make a move. He did not intend to kill all the way to the banished land. He was not Mad Tiger. There was no reason for him to kill all of them. Congratulations. As soon as they spoke, the eyes of many cultivators who were surrounding them lit up. There was an endless supply of good things in the demonic demon king's sky pillar city. If they could form a relationship with him, they might be able to obtain great benefits. In an instant, all of them began to congratulate him with smiles. Congratulations came one after another. In an instant, it was very lively. In 3 months, I will hold a celebration in Sky Pillar City and open the city gate. If anyone wants to come, I will welcome them. As for today, I have just broken through. I will go into seclusion to stabilize my realm. See you in 3 months. Tian gestured to the crowd and nodded. Suddenly, with a clang, the golden tiger soul was unsheathed. The green pearl on the tiger soul had completely transformed from its original jade-green color to a blood-red color. Vaguely, vast power gathered in the blood pearl, and it was on the verge of transforming. Crack! After the tiger soul was unsheathed, Tian casually slashed at the void. The sharpness of the tiger soul was completely unleashed in an instant. A clear crack appeared in the void. In the crack, countless terrifying spatial fragments flickered continuously. Its eyes turned to play chess, Indra said indifferently. Unexpectedly, the tiger soul in his hand directly flew out of his hand and rushed into the crack that was created by the slash. Almost in the blink of an eye, the tiger soul was wrapped in a resplendent golden divine light and instantly broke through the air. It directly broke through the void of the land of exile and escaped the cage, rushing into the origin world. In the void there was still a faint trace of a tiger's roar that shook heaven and earth. All soldiers, return to the city. With this order, the soldiers of the myriad demon city immediately responded and rushed back to Sky Pillar City with a joyous atmosphere. TSK, the benefits are too great. The benefits we obtain this time are too great. On the way back, Dark couldn't help but shout excitedly, you actually reached the ancient heavenly demon realm in one go. This time, it's all thanks to the contribution of the Witch of Myriad Wonders. TSK, if it wasn't for her primordial een, the power of creation wouldn't have been formed and it would be difficult to condense the undying body. Who knows, we might even be suppressed by these cultivators. We wouldn't be as impressive as we are now. The Witch of Myriad Wonders was really a good witch. He had contributed quite a lot. He had even contributed everything he had. She was really a good citizen, a very good citizen. The banished land is indeed a place for me to soar. To me, it's an endless throne. Tian nodded without hiding anything. If you want to know what happened next, please go to www.chidian.com. There are more chapters. Support the author. Support the original reading. Chapter 787. Relying on the characteristics of the banished land, Indra was like a fish back in the water, like a tiger in the forest. Along the way, his strength had increased with an irresistible force. Only he could absorb and refine the innate yuan qi in the banished land. Such a cultivation environment was more abundant than the ancient times. Successive encounters had led to a huge accumulation. With the assistance of Nether, the accumulation of various cultivation techniques he had obtained since ancient times, and the comprehension of countless cultivation techniques he had obtained from Nether Prison, his innate talent, and the demon goddess of myriad wonders, a heavenly demon deity, as his cauldron, as well as various fortuitous encounters, he eventually became an ancient heavenly demon. The moment Tian stepped into the heavenly demon level, he felt as if the entire world had changed. Looking down, he could clearly see the various kinds of yuan energy in the world. All sorts of natural laws were intertwined, creating a multicolored scene. Every plant and tree exuded vigorous vitality and tenacious growth. The entire world seemed to have become unusually vivid. He felt as if he could control heaven and earth with a single thought. His every movement seemed to contain the supreme truths of heaven and earth. His gaze seemed to carry the supreme might of heaven and earth, capable of killing people. Standing in one place, he felt as if the world around him was under his control. Within this range, anyone would feel an invisible pressure. He felt as if heaven and earth existed, and he was the only one left. He could vaguely sense the essence of heaven and earth. He could sense the will of heaven and earth. Come, come, come. Become one with me. We will become one. After the Tao unification, this world will be under our control. You will be the supreme God of this world. Come. What are you waiting for? Tao unification, Tao unification. In the void, the resonance of the heavens and earth reverberated unceasingly in the mind of Indra. A bizarre will entered his body and a voice was constantly urging him to fuse with the will of the heavens and earth. His primordial spirit rested in the void and fused with the heavens and earth. He wanted to become the supreme god of this land of exile, the supreme ruler, the one and only God. If I entrust my nascent soul to the void, will I still be me? If I am assimilated by the will of heaven and earth, enslaved by heaven and earth, and my consciousness collapsing, how can I be tempted by you? I am who I am, and in everything, I would rather take things straight than twist them. You can't bewitch I won't be fooled. Tian snorted coldly. His mind was as firm as ever, and he didn't waver in the slightest. His willpower was extremely firm. Power, I want it, but I will rely on myself to obtain it, instead of relying on external forces. Whoosh! The formless will of heaven and earth seemed to know that it could not deceive Tian. Just like how it appeared, it disappeared without a trace. The surroundings were still as calm as ever. On the other hand, Tian felt as if his mental state had taken a huge step forward in an instant. Dark nodded in relief, as if he knew what he had just experienced. Lunatic D, you just sent Tiger Soul out of the land of exile. Could it be that you have other plans? With your current battle strength, although you have only just stepped into the ancient heaven demon realm, you have the battle strength of a peak ancient heaven demon. It will not be difficult for you to break through the barrier of the land of exile. Dark was curious and doubtful about Tian's last move. However, he instinctively sensed that there was a hint of a trap. Tiger Soul has already reached the peak of a low-grade Earth-rank demon weapon. Green Pearl has already absorbed enough energy to evolve to a mid-grade Earth-rank demon weapon. It can start evolving at any time. When the time comes, it will cause a huge commotion. Tian smiled meaningfully. Dark blinked, and his eyes gradually brightened. Could it be that you want to use Tiger Soul's evolution as an opportunity to lead to a massacre? Didn't the myriad worlds guess that I have already fallen? Then I will turn their guesses into reality. If they want to plot against my demon city, I can't just ignore them. Didn't they want to find the demon city? Alright, I will choose the battlefield for them, Tian said with a faint smile. He quickly traveled through the void and returned to Sky Pillar City. Demons, listen up. The Demon Emperor's decree. Build the Martial Proclamation Palace. 3 months later, there will be a grand banquet. After returning to Sky Pillar City, Tian only briefly met the King of Nightmares, Mengshi. After settling down the peacock goddess, who was still in a deep sleep, he turned and entered the meditation room. A purple pillar fell from the sky, and the vast power of creation poured into his body continuously. In the world, the restraints of the rules appeared again, restricting the use of dermic powers and divine powers. Tian's heavenly demon tribulation had officially ended, and the heavens had given him a reward. Tian took the opportunity to enter seclusion. At the same time, in an inexplicable void in the myriad worlds, a crack suddenly appeared. From the crack, a golden stream of light suddenly broke through the air. It entered the endless void. At this moment, in the endless void, a large number of cultivators entered this dangerous place. They did not care about the countless terrifying dangers and disasters that existed in the endless void. They wandered in groups in the void, scanning the surroundings with their divine perception from time to time, as if they were looking for something. Obviously, because of the Demon Suppression Alliance's actions against the Thousand Demon City, countless cultivators heard the news and directly moved. The Demon Suppression Alliance issued an announcement. Anyone who finds traces of the Thousand Demon City will be rewarded with 1,000,000 heavenly essence pills. Because of this announcement, countless people who wanted to try their luck entered the endless void. Those who were weak died directly. There were probably no less than thousands of people who died because of disasters every day. At this moment, in the countless space fragments, a silver-white ship was shuttling through the endless void. The ship was divided into 5 levels, and it was about 1,000 feet long. There were countless ancient patterns on it, and it faintly revealed a ferocious aura that suppressed the void. In the void, many meteorites crashed toward the ship. However, the moment they collided, they were immediately blasted into dust by the lightning that burst out from the ship. They were annihilated fiercely. Domineering, ferocious, and incomparably fierce. A group of young men and women stood on the ship. They looked proud, heroic, and fearless. "Senior Brother Dan, we have been searching in the endless void for a whole month, but we can't even find the shadow of the 1,000-demon city. Could it be that the 1,000-demon city has left the endless void and is hiding somewhere else? Otherwise, with the magic of our dark aerial warship, it's impossible that we can't find the trace of the demon city." There were a total of 6 youths on the ship. One of them was a handsome young man wearing a golden silk brocade robe. He stood at the very front and naturally gave off a steady aura. This young man was called Danchenzi. Beside him was a young lady in green. Her eyes were clearly filled with adoration as she looked at him. She curled her lips and asked, "Impossible. According to the news from the Demon Suppression Alliance, the 1,000-demon city must still be in the endless void. It's just that it's shuttling through the endless void. It's not easy to find it. You should know that the ancient city is the masterpiece of Ancestor Tianjizi back then. It's an unparalleled ancient city. It's extraordinary. If it's truly completed, its power will be enough to suppress the heavens. Junior sister Lu Luo, don't be too anxious." Dan Chen-zi smiled faintly. Every word and action of his carried a unique style. "That's right. Our weapon cauldron sect has inherited Ancestor Tianjizi's orthodoxy. We must find the 1,000-demon city no matter what. If we can seize the opportunity to chase it back, we can obtain a sect-guarding divine artifact for our sect. There's not much time left before the 100 tribes return." Beside him, a thin and small man with a body like a bamboo pole shook his head and said, "Senior brothers, look, what's that?" At this moment, at a location less than 10,000 feet away from the Kongming fortress ship, a golden ray of light suddenly broke through the air like a bolt of lightning. It rushed straight into the distance. Within that golden ray of light, there was a faint and dignified tiger roar reverberating. Along the way, all of the space-time storms and large amounts of meteorites in front of it were directly rushed through. Even the hardest meteorite would be cut in half in an instant. The golden light didn't slow down and continued to rush forward like lightning. It's a treasure. It's so powerful that it can cut through space. It's so sharp that it can easily cut through meteorite. It's definitely a great treasure. Let's chase after it," Dan Chen-zi said decisively. Suddenly, the warship shook and the entire warship turned around in an instant. It chased after the golden light, rampaging through everything in its way. Any obstacles in front of it were all smashed into pieces. It burst out with extreme speed and chased after it madly. It didn't know how many voids it had passed through in this chase. In an instant, a huge continent appeared in the void. That continent appeared in the boundless void, and it looked incomparably illusory. Numerous divine mountains towered into the sky, and countless fantastical towering ancient trees were distributed everywhere. There were boundless flowers and plants, and there was a scene of birds chirping and the fragrance of flowers everywhere. It looked beautiful, like a peerless paradise. It made people feel a sense of fondness at a glance. However, bubbles would appear from time to time on that continent. They would appear from the void and float in the air, disappearing in the blink of an eye. Those bubbles were colorful. They were also filled with dreamy colors. The golden light instantly rushed toward the continent. Along the way, Xiao Qin broke through countless bubbles and appeared before a towering 30,000-meter-tall divine mountain like a hot knife through butter. Suddenly, a figure appeared. It was a strange golden saber. It was the tiger soul that had broken out from the land of exile. The tiger soul appeared in front of the divine mountain. The saber flashed, and the saber rapidly grew in size at a speed visible to the naked eye. In the blink of an eye, it had expanded into a gigantic saber that was several thousand feet long. The saber turned, and like an iron pen, it quickly waved from top to bottom on the divine mountain. It was as if dragons were flying and phoenixes were dancing, and 8 ancient seal characters were drawn in a row. Clang! The tiger soul flew into the air, and the saber turned upside down. With a loud boom, it stabbed straight into the peak of the divine mountain. Roar! Within the tiger's soul blade, tiger roars that were filled with the aura of a supreme emperor soared into the sky. The entire divine mountain was shaking violently. Rumble! On the divine mountain, the 8 ancient seal characters emitted an intimidating aura of nobility and bloodlust. They emitted a bright golden divine light. Amidst the divine light, the characters were clearly visible. The tiger soul's light, heaven and earth emperor. To be continued. If you want to know what happened next, please go to www.chidian.com. There are more chapters. Support the author. Support the original reading. Chapter 788. It was just 8 words, but they exuded a monstrous aura like that of a peerless emperor. Just one look was enough to make one's mind unsteady. Within the green pearls on the tiger soul, traces of blood-red light instantly washed over the entire blade. In the surroundings, the vast yuan qi of heaven and earth seemed to be attracted by a huge force and quickly gathered from all directions. It formed a huge yuan qi whirlpool above the tiger soul. Within the whirlpool, vast yuan qi poured into the tiger soul like a tide. Roar! Tiger soul regains light, emperor of heaven and earth. A voice that sounded like the way of the heavens suddenly spread out in all directions, rapidly spreading across the entire endless void. A black tiger with wings on its back suddenly emerged from the blade of the tiger soul. It opened its mouth and crazily devoured the endless yuan qi. This black tiger's original form was abnormally illusory and was faintly discernible. Its form was not condensed, but it naturally exuded the aura of an emperor. At this moment, it was continuously devouring the yuan qi of heaven and earth. Its originally illusory form was continuously condensing at a speed visible to the naked eye. Upgrade! The tiger soul was upgrading. From the earth rank lower grade to the middle grade. It should be known that an earth rank divine weapon could nurture a weapon soul. At the earth rank divine weapon, it was only at the initial stage of condensation and its form was still illusory. However, at the middle grade, it would completely condense into a physical blade soul. The tiger soul was currently at this moment. Rumble! The Kongming fortress ship rampaged and directly appeared at the edge of this strange island that stood in the endless void. It looked towards the island. Quick look! Could that battle blade inserted into the sacred mountain be the treasure that we were chasing just now? Hiss, even the blade soul has been condensed. Senior Dan, that, could it be an earth-rank divine weapon? Luluo's eyes lit up and her baby face was so shocked that her mouth was wide open. She kept blinking her eyes and stared at the battle blade that was thousands of feet long. Tiger soul regains light, emperor of heaven and earth. This. Dan Chen's eyes widened when he saw the 8 ancient seals on the mountain. Don't tell me this is the legendary demon Emperor Di Shirtian's natal demon weapon, the earth-ranked demon weapon. Tiger's soul? Legend has it that the tiger soul that the demon emperor carries with him is a peerless weapon that grew together with him. It has endless sharpness and is extremely terrifying. It can easily cut through space and devour the essence and blood of the enemy. It can even devour the soul to increase the power of the demon weapon. It is extremely terrifying. Could it be this one? A young disciple of the Weapon Cauldron sect looked greedily at the tiger soul that was inserted into the sacred mountain. This tiger soul has always been with the demon emperor and never left his side. Now it actually flew here by itself. Could it be that the demon emperor has really fallen? Earth-rank divine weapon, this was a peerless weapon that only the ancient giants could possess. If he could get his hands on it, perhaps the saber would contain the demon emperor's peerless martial arts. Supreme saber technique. Another young disciple shouted excitedly. Charge! Immediately, a few disciples on the ship soared into the sky and rushed toward the continent without hesitation. Ah! What is this? Oh no! Help! Oh no! Is this the legendary illusory Void Island? Oh no! The few young disciples who rushed to the island saw colorful bubbles appearing in the sky not long after they entered the island. When the bubbles hit the disciples, they were strangely sucked into the bubbles. When the bubbles burst, the disciples who were sucked into the bubbles were turned into dust silently. A few cultivators who were at least at the Immortal Duke realm were annihilated just like that. Illusory Void Island? This is the illusory Void Island? Dan Chen's pupils shrank violently as he cried out in shock. He looked at the incomparably huge island in front of him in horror. The illusory Void Island was one of the most dangerous places in the endless void. It was said that this island was formed by the destruction of countless voids and thousands of years of evolution. It existed in the endless void and contained the most terrifying dangers. The entire island was said to be formed by the condensation of countless void. Every blade of grass and every tree was nurtured by the power of countless voids. Every inch of land contained countless terrifying void. In Buddhism, there was a saying that there was a world in a flower and a void in a grain of sand. This saying was the best embodiment in the illusory Void Island. Even a speck of dust contained a void. The soil on the island stretched as far as the eye could see. One could imagine how many worlds and voids this illusory Void Island contained. There were also countless voids that turned into bubbles and drifted away. They were constantly being created and destroyed, erupting with a terrifying destructive force. Once one was sucked into the voids, even immortal dukes would perish. It was more terrifying than a swamp. Once one fell into it, one would not be able to escape. However, everything on this illusory Void Island was the best material to refine a space treasure. Unfortunately, one would have to pay the price of one's life to obtain it. Let's go. Return to the weapon tripod Great World immediately. This is not something we can solve. Dan Chen-zi glanced at the tiger's soul on the godly MT Shumi and decisively retracted his gaze. He hurriedly ordered. Immediately, the Kongming fortress ship turned around. With a shake of its body, it disappeared into the endless void. However, the words "Tiger's soul regains light, Emperor of heaven and earth" spread throughout the entire boundless void in an instant. In an instant, countless cultivators rushed towards the illusory Void Island. 2 flowers blossomed, one on each side. In the land of exile, Di Shirtian went into seclusion. After receiving the power of creation bestowed by heaven and earth, he turned around and entered his inner world. Inside his inner world there was a complete change. Hundreds of divine spirits were born, and the vast power of desire was flowing out continuously, filling the void. The Emperor's energy drilled into the ground and became dragon veins. The dragon veins then breathed out innate essence chi, filling the Tian Fa world with dense innate essence chi. With the existence of abundant innate essence chi and the power of desire, the Tian Fa world and the infernal prison, which were originally thousands of feet long, began to expand. This expansion was subtle, but during this period, it had unbelievably expanded to a radius of 3,000 feet. Some flowers, trees, and precious spiritual essences were planted in it. Moreover, there was a large number of demon clan elites in the Tian Fa world, constantly absorbing innate essence chi to cultivate. Di Shirtian took out the bell of heaven's reincarnation and turned around to enter it. There was a world inside the bell. In this world there was nothing. Everywhere was nothingness. Sitting in the bell, he adjusted the time to a ratio of 100 to 1. He stayed in seclusion for a full 10 years. In the main hall, an ancient, crystal-like bell was spinning in mid-air. The surrounding heaven and earth essence chi was constantly being devoured by the ancient bell. Suddenly there was a flash of light, and Di Shirtian, dressed in a black imperial robe, came out of the ancient bell and summoned it back to his hand. He held it in his left hand. Looking at the ancient bell, a picture scroll appeared. An illusory gourd vine was growing healthily, with 2 small gourds hanging on it. One of the gourds was the calamity gourd, and the other was the god of wine gourd. In addition, there were specks of stars twinkling on the bell. I still lack a gourd vine. It seems that I have to find a way to get one. In this case, with the gourd vine, maybe the gourds on the bell can continue to grow. Di Shirtian thought to himself. The bell of heaven's reincarnation had the magical power to refine all things in the world and merge them into the ancient bell. At this moment, the 2 gourds on the bell had completely merged with the bell of heaven's reincarnation, becoming a part of the ancient bell. Although it was just a picture scroll, its power was absolutely not reduced in the slightest. Moreover, it was even more magical. Hee lunatic D, your bell has unlimited potential. After merging with the calamity gourd, it immediately increased its power greatly and gained another magical attack. Amazing, this bell is really amazing. If you merge with a few more treasures, this bell will probably become an upper-grade natural spiritual treasure. Ming looked at the bell and couldn't help but praise it. Heaven's reincarnation, the giant's blood essence, reincarnation cleansing, return to the origin, merge with the ancient bell. Di Shirtian's expression was solemn. With a thought, he quickly activated the bell of heaven's reincarnation in his hand. Suddenly, the 1,000 drops of blood essence sealed in a small space in the bell were swept into a ray of reincarnation divine light and swept back and forth in the blood essence. Lei Bao's remnant will in the blood essence was swept by the divine light of reincarnation. Under the divine light of reincarnation, the remnant will and imprint would dim a little and shake violently every time it was swept. Finally, after being swept 9 times in a row, the imprint in the blood essence was forcibly wiped out. 1,600 drops of blood essence rushed out of the small space and entered the ancient bell, where they quickly merged with it. Under the fusion of the power of the samsara of the heavens, a second relief scroll suddenly appeared on the body of the ancient bell. In the relief scroll, 1,600 bronze giants, who were thousands of feet tall and gave off a bronze luster, were roaring and galloping in a vast wilderness. Every single one of them gave off an extremely strong sense of wildness and even a strong sense of suppression. They were full of fighting spirit. TSK, that Lei Bao is really a giant. After these 1,600 drops of blood essence fused with the bell of heaven's reincarnation, they actually evolved into 1,600 bronze giant. Every single one of them has the combat power of an ancient demon sage. TSK, as long as the bell of heaven's reincarnation is not destroyed, even if these giants are released and killed, they can be reborn in the ancient bell. They are a bunch of undying giants. Good. This is a great harvest. Looking at the new relief scroll that appeared on the ancient bell, Ming was even more amazed by the mystical power of the ancient bell. It could actually refine all things in the universe and fuse them with the ancient bell, increasing the power of the ancient bell. No wonder it was called the Heaven's Reincarnation. The main event is yet to come. It's time to deal with the Fire Fox Emperor and the Myriad Bone Dragon King. Di Shirtian muttered to himself as he looked at the ancient bell in his hand. His gaze became more and more profound. To be continued. If you want to know what will happen next, please go to www.chidian.com. There are more chapters. Support the author, support the original reading. You're tuning in to the Phoenix Knights YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.